Welcome, guys, to the Clashuals podcast, episode 11, the coolest Rick podcast episode ever hosted.
Of all
What
time.
up, guys? Of all time.
Ever.
Of all time. Of eternity. What's up, Rick?
Hey, guys. How's it going? Thanks.
Your head. So people don't think Craig bots you.
I mean, it's cool. I can be the cute little teddy bear.
He's kind of cute.
Little teddy bear.
Got the little
That
microphone.
his robot voice doesn't match his picture. Now record.
Okay. Well, welcome, Rick, to the podcast. We finally convinced you to join. Look, there was some stipulation you gave us to get you to join. I don't remember. You were wanting some sort of payment or something.
I don't remember a stipulation either. It's not like I was ducking you guys.
I remember exactly what you said. Adams kept asking you. You said, "I will not join until Big B specifically asks me to join."
Oh no, that was out of respect because Adams gets hammered and he's like, "You gotta come on," and he throws up. So I was just like, "Hey man, just so you know, Adams asked me, and I just want to check with both of y'all before I just show up." And then Big B's like, "What the fuck?
Why is he here?"
Why is he here? I would have let him know.
Well, luckily for all of us, I asked you to join. So now we've made it official, right? It's official.
Yeah. As long as a sober person has to give consent, that's the rules, right?
Yeah, I mean that's
Unless you're both drunk.
It's kind of what we do, right? Sober decisions around here. It's 100% our mantra, right?
Basically.
So we got a lot to talk about today. This is a big week. It's Thanksgiving week. Oh my gosh, I got so much to be thankful for. Sort of. And just a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. We got Worlds coming up this weekend. We made a big, bold prediction segment last week, which was kind of fun to do, and talking about the teams that are going to be going through it. And we Adams and I thought, what better time to have Rick on than last week when we were talking about it, but unfortunately Rick had the sniffles and couldn't join us last week. So we decided to have him on when
I still probably sound like crap. I'm gonna have to mute myself coughing a lot during this one.
I mean, you do sound pretty normal for you.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think I'm like almost through it.
Yeah, that might just be your voice. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But now that we've got him on, and now he's getting ready for a big trip, we want to talk a little bit about Helsinki and what it's going to be like. Obviously, Rick got to go last year. A little bit jealous, not of the fucking flight he's going to have to take, but of actually getting to be there for the whole, the whole show, the whole festival of Clash Fest, Festivus Clash.
Cool to be there live instead of watching on Twitch.
Yeah, at 2 a.m. in the morning.
It'll be a nice 10 a.m. morning watching the Clash finals for me after I get over all the jet lag.
Yeah, and the beer.
But while we want to talk a lot about that, we've got some questions for you, Rick, just to get you warmed up. I mean, we want to talk a lot about why the hell it is you get invited to go to Worlds. Because well, it's kind of cool. Some people out there listening might be like, well, why does this guy get to go? Why are they inviting him? Why is he? What's he done so special? And who knows? Maybe there's a few people out there. Maybe I don't know. A couple of current clanmates of mine listening to this are like, I don't even know who Rick is. So maybe for the 2 or 3 out there listening, talking about some of the other stuff you've done might be cool. Plus, we want to get a lot of your Clash opinions, right? That's one thing that we like to do on this show is come up with hot Clash opinions. And Rick, you get to co-host your own podcast where I'm just going to say it. The Clash opinions aren't always quite as hot. They're a little more mainstream, so that's okay. So we're going to see if we can't stir the pot with you just a little bit, in a very casual sort of way. Okay, so
Hopefully.
don't worry, we're not going to be feeding you onion steed or anything like that. You'll be fine. We'll just keep it very casual over here. All right.
Well, that had me.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get it.
All right. So first, I guess let's start with just the general one. We're going to talk a little bit about Reddit, but how did the whole creator code or the creator program from being a Reddit moderator, how did that start? Did that come around before you became a mod? I know you just celebrated 3 years of being a moderator. Is that right? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, it'll be 3 years on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, 3 years.
Nice.
3 years was Reddit moderators being in the creator program already part of the program. Or was that something that happened within the last 3 years?
So I don't know when it actually began. I don't know who the first one was. Supercell's always had like a cooler relationship with the Reddit mods. Like the subreddit was started like 2 weeks after the game launched, like August 2012. So Supercell never had control over the subreddit, and as far as I know, we've always had a pretty friendly relationship. I don't know who the first one was, but back in the day, people had been flown out to Finland for various other events. There had been mod summits before COVID, and there had been the Redditverse forum wars a couple times. People got flown out internationally to do those, and then the creator program kind of changed. This is all before me, so I'm not too up to speed on the details. And yeah, they just rolled us into the creator program with a lot of other people. So typically, creators are like YouTubers or Twitch streamers and people who make more mainstream kind of content. Then there was another category called what used to be called resourcers, and that's guys like us who run websites, Clash of Stats, Clash Ninja, people who aren't producing like video content but still contribute something significantly to the overall Clash community. So yeah, just a handful of us get to partake in all the benefits of the creator program in exchange for all the cool, nifty volunteerism we do, helping promote Clash and manage a small portion of the community.
So what you said a moderator forum or a moderator summit? I'm sorry, moderator summit was what you said.
Yeah, I don't know how many, and I don't recall exactly when, but I know groups of Reddit mods have been flown out in the past to visit headquarters and stuff, and take tours and see some cool stuff. That was all before me, so I don't know the specifics on it, but yeah, it's happened before. I know a couple people want it to happen again. I'd be glad if it did, obviously, but I don't know how much that's in the cards anymore.
It doesn't seem like about
pretty
3 years ago. It seemed like there were a lot more moderators. There doesn't seem to be quite as many now as there used to be. Is that right, or am I misremembering that? Have y'all reduced
So
the total number of mods?
I think the total number's probably close to the same, but everyone who's there now is a lot more active. We cleared out a lot of the people who were just still on the list and technically had like mod powers, but just never showed up or did anything.
Oh, okay.
But the mod team right now has more active people than any other time in my 3 years at least.
So how do I get my name on the list as one of those inactive ones? Like, I have the moderator title, but I don't actually do much. How do I do that?
You start by doing a lot, and then you slowly kind of start to ghost everyone and maybe drift away, and hope no one notices. But
Yeah.
that hasn't been the case lately.
Then that's gonna be a no for me, dog. I'm not about that.
It's not a whole lot of work, honestly.
Yeah, but then it's like I gotta that's my biggest problem with Reddit. And I'll say problem, like I love Reddit, right? Like there's plenty of things I use Reddit for.
I'm not going to be insulted if you point out what sucks about it.
Well, I don't like to read a whole lot. It's just a lot of words. Okay, that's it. If it were more pictures and videos and less words, I'd be fine. But for some reason, people see the name Read It and think that you need to read it, and so there's There's a lot to read on there. I mean, I usually enjoy it when I
yeah.
read it, but I don't have time. Who's got time to read anymore? Okay, let me just read it to me. That's why I listen to podcasts, right? I don't have to read anything. You just do it in my car. Someone can read it to me or speak it to me, right? I don't have to read stuff. So 3 years
Yeah,
ago,
I know
before,
that's
go ahead, Rick.
no, I was gonna say that's what attracted me to Reddit. Just like as a user originally before I was a mod, is just I like having the conversations that you can have on Reddit. It's not as fast as Discord, where like if you miss something on Discord, it's gone 10 seconds later, basically gone forever because no one scrolls up to read Discord, especially in busy ones. But with Reddit, it's kind of built into where like, the better stuff gets upvoted and stays visible for a little longer, so you can have a slower, more meaningful conversation. You could take time to write out a message more than like a text message length, like a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
like a lot of what happens in Discord too. It's just an easy way to have a longer form conversation, and that's what I've always been a fan of too, and that's why I started listening to podcasts originally too, and large part of the reason why we do one now.
Hell yeah.
So, Adams, have you ventured over to Reddit, to the Reddit yet? No.
I get I have I get like emails from him like from Clash like how do I beat this base? How do I fix this rush base? And I literally just click on the picture and just see all like the trolling comments on it like delete your account or F it, rush it more or some. It's just hilarious on the
300
comment section.
goblins. That's the only way you'll
Yes,
triple.
yeah, yeah. I just love the troll comments and it's funny like even when they say like how do I beat this base and like everyone's like use this and it's like this stupid ridiculous army comp and it's funny. It's funny as fuck.
So 3 years ago, before you became a moderator, was that just you seeing the post and applying for it? Because I know that from time to time they've done open applications for moderators for the for the page, or was that somewhere where you knew someone that was already doing it? How did that all start?
I had known a couple of the mods. I mean, as much as people online, but I had known a couple of them through the years, and clashed with them and done various things. But yeah, it was basically just the mods at the time made a post, said, "Hey, who wants to come do this BS job with us?" And I'd been complaining a lot about how trashy Reddit was, and I've always been the kind of guy who's like, well, if I'm complaining and not offering solutions or help of some kind too, that just kind of makes me a d-bag. So I might as well say, hey, I have a lot of complaints, but I'm willing to help address them, and here's how. And the mods at the time apparently thought that was okay, and now 3 years later, still doing it.
Let's go.
So once again, whenever you have open applications again, I can apply and just sound like I'm going to be really active, get accepted in, and then just totally go in the tank, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten a little smarter with how we do it lately. We'll have people do like a trial period where we kind of look over your shoulder a little more and watch what you're doing. Take a little more active role in training you. Like when I first joined, basically it was like, hey, here's some basic instructions. Like read the rules and have at it, and then they'll just if I did anything dumb or wrong, I would get corrected later. But now we're trying to be a little more teaching towards the new mods. But yeah, it'll be next year sometime. We'll drop an application, pin it to the top of the sub, and say, hey, tell us your ideas. Tell us what you want to do to the community. Like basically invent your own job and then come and do it. If we think it's a job worth doing, we'll bring you on and
Okay,
try and give you the tools to do it.
don't you think there would be a good Reddit moderator role that's just to primarily stir the pot on the podcast, right? That'd be a good moderator role, right? Very specific.
Good hey, content.
I'm just saying, ClashFan9 would apply for that one. He could do that.
There's
Oh
enough
yeah.
there's enough trolls on Reddit anyway. We don't need to like make an official mod role for troll.
I mean, you've seen his work, like when he's gotten control of like bans in a Discord server, right? Like, I mean, he can get it done.
I've never been on the receiving end of a weird unfair ban.
To be fair, I didn't do that. That was not me.
To be fair,
I have the unban hammer.
yes,
What I should.
yeah, and he actually used his powers of unbanning to. Actually, he didn't do anything with that power to unban. Why is that, Adams? Why haven't you unbanned anyone?
I did. I did Rick.
But he's not even there anymore. What good did that do? Who have you unbanned that came back?
No one could.
That's your goal. That's your goal. Okay, find
Well,
someone in
everyone
that list.
Well, so that list is weird because, like, it says deleted users, and half of them I don't know.
Well, maybe this is the only way to get them back.
just start unbanning everyone.
Maybe there's someone in there getting a notification. Hey, you've been unbanned. Oh, it's time to reactivate my Discord. Okay, so.
Oh, I unbanned Steve.
Oh yeah, Steve. Hey, I don't know if you heard that, Rick. Steve actually went back.
Oh, he actually went back. Oh, baby.
That 2-time and
Oh, wuss. You can't go. You can't go back.
He did. He totally did.
Just the cycle of abuse starts again.
And he's in there just like chit chatting, like he was never gone. Just chit chatting.
I was hoping he'd say that 2-timing fuck.
So
see, I thought their little extra shrimp server was being extra quiet. It's probably just because he's going to hang out with those losers back in the one server.
I think it's because there's only so much extra shrimp you can order and eat before it starts to taste funny, right? Like there's only so much of it you can do.
Well, he's eating Gulf water shrimp that's going to be dirty and full of trash and BP oil anyway.
I mean, that's what they cook it in too. So I mean, that's all about the flavor palette. Okay, it's not clean water like we have in the Pacific Northeast, or I'm sorry, Northwest, or wherever you are.
And you got crystal clear glacial water.
Yeah, and I guess your problem is in the skies, not in the water, right?
Yeah, sure.
Well, where he's at, it doesn't rain that much.
Yeah, no, we got
when
Fukushima happened, I think we caught some drifting radiation eventually.
That'd make the shrimp extra tasty.
Oh yeah.
And good eating. So okay, as you're moderating Reddit, trying to keep things in line. What do you think, just generally speaking, is the most challenging thing about trying to moderate a bunch of? I mean, let's face it, everyone that's in there is just an over enthusiast for a mobile game, for an 11-year-old mobile game. So what's the most annoying part about that?
Yeah, the most annoying part is people like fucking you who don't want to read. Like all the fucking time, we will like remove a post or send people a message saying, "Hey, what's up? Like, hey, heads up, this is against the rules. Here's a link to the rules. Give them a quick browse. It's bullet points, real short, and then like an explanation of why your poster was removed, and then invariably multiple times a day, get a message back like, why was this post removed? Like the link you fucking clicked to message me was inside of the reason why your post was removed. You illiterate fuck. Like,
I've never had a post removed. What are you talking about?
You saw a whole paragraph, and then you skimmed it and saw like the bitch at me button, and that's the only thing you saw. Like, and just to ask a question that you could have read, you already skimmed through it. Like, you have your answer.
Okay, so in the defense of people like me, maybe not specifically me, but people like me, don't you think a lot of those rules would be much better served like in video format where you don't have to actually read it?
Like if we just had someone doing a TikTok dance with like to a song written of the rules, it would be.
Hey, if you need a moderator role for that.
What are you pointing to?
ClashFan9?
I'm on the other side of you.
Wait.
For me, there you go. Yeah, I'll dance and just show my shirt, my titties.
Yeah, you're shirtless dancing CF9, talking about
with the rules.
Hey, no toxicity, right? The people will remember that, right? And
It'll
then
go viral, guarantee it.
Yeah.
I mean,
can you do
like,
the shirt?
You're allowed to be toxic on Reddit. Like if we said no toxicity, Reddit would be a ghost town.
True.
You just, there's just certain lines you can't cross. Like you can't call people the N-word while you're being toxic. Stuff like that. Like real basic, easy to understand, societal level manners.
Okay.
So what do you? So I used to listen. I used to like have the you could donate like the awards and stuff to people. What's the reason they took that away? Like, I thought that was kind of as really like that was the majority of my interaction was not necessarily like actually typing out a response. It was like, hey, this makes sense. I'm gonna give him some. He gets a gold star award.
So Reddit took away all the free awards and most all of the other normal awards, but within the last week, they re-enabled like regular gold on our sub. So that was kind of out of our control. I think Liam just did it and didn't tell anyone that he enabled it. Now he's afraid to admit it. But yeah, gold is back on the Clash sub. So if you want to gift someone gold or post something that you think other people will gift you gold for, you can do it again. And also like the system that Reddit replaced the old award system with is now like if you get enough gold given to you, they're gonna start paying you a little bit. So if you want to create and share content on Reddit, it might be a moneymaker eventually, but it's honestly it's not gonna be.
I'm gonna share my feet pics on Reddit.
But in theory,
maybe on like the big Reddit pages, right?
I mean, our page gets decent traffic, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like the Reddit also just started showing like subreddit rankings. So we are depending on the day, most days we're like the number 3 mobile gaming subreddit.
Ooh.
On all of Reddit. It's behind like 2 different Pokemon Go subs.
So that doesn't count. You're above them. You're one.
Yeah, no. So I mean, it's kind of cool. So like, there is like a real decent sized population of people who use the Clash subreddit. So it wouldn't be impossible that you get a decent amount of gold eventually.
I will say that's one of the things that I will do. And because I feel like if I upvote something and something that's already got a bunch of upvotes, it's just might as well. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, right? Like they've already got a million upvotes. What does one more do? But giving something like that helps distinguish because there is something to be said for positive reinforcement for people who actually put some thought and some time and energy into their posts that actually make sense. And it's not just, like Adam said, how do I 3-star this base? I'm an idiot. Like there's only so many of those posts that can go on. And I really think there should be a rule that those should just be completely ignored. Like a completely unwritten rule. But like if you go on and you're asking for attack help and you're below a certain town hall level, there should just be like an unwritten rule, like no one respond to this. No one give them advice. They'll stop asking eventually.
So
eventually,
like going back to something you asked before about like challenges of doing the moderator job on Reddit too, like incentivizing high quality posts like that is something I've never been able to figure out entirely. Like we've tried a whole bunch of different stuff. We'll change the post flare to say like a high quality to try and give people a little recognition like that. We tried doing monthly awards. Back when in the old award system too, we had like special mod only awards we could give out. They gave people like a free month of Reddit Premium, like ad free and all the other perks that came with it. That went away. It's just hard to get people to buy into creating high quality, good content on Reddit. So, like, if you look at any normal day, like right now, we're between updates. There's not really any big news going on. Like all the Clash of Meat stuff's died off. There's nothing really to talk about right now. Reddit's never been a big esports place either, so I'm not even counting the World Finals. So it's like you look around and it's all like, how would you attack this base post? Like, hey, I made it to Legends for the first time ever, kind of garbage. And I know it's weird because I would love to see more like guides, more stuff like what Trample does, where he'll take his TikToks and re-record them for Reddit and then come and talk to people in the comments, stuff like that. I'd love to see more. I don't know how to encourage people to do it. That's I don't know. That's like my big, long-standing failing as a mod that like. That's what bugs me. That I'm a problem I'm not able to fix.
You can't duplicate the the good posters, or encourage people who have good posts to just come back and do it again.
Yeah, I mean, like attaboys only go so far.
True.
Well, that's why I always thought that like some of the higher tier rewards for posts, I always thought those meant more because I mean that was different than just giving it an upvote or even really just a ton of upvotes, right? Like it's actually something substantial. It could actually, I don't know. Like I said, positive reinforcement. And now that I know that Liam has under the radar re-enabled the gold thing, I'll probably read more when there's something I can actually, contribute to it. So
I do gotta get to you. Some of those long posts about Clash are like long, and I'm like, I'll like
No,
skim through. Like, I'm not reading a lot of these.
I don't know, like there is a lot of good stuff. Like even like I enjoy reading the big long posts like that as long as someone put actual thought into it. Like I will spend the time reading it, and then if it's stupid, I will spend the time arguing against it just because I don't know, I like talking about Clash,
Yeah.
It's if I stopped being if I stopped being a mod or got kicked off or whatever, I'd probably still hang out there just to BS about Clash all day long. Like some guy wrote probably the most terrible idea I've ever heard on Reddit this morning, where he thinks the daily star bonus for builder base should be 60 stars
What?
just for 5 times the amount of loot. Like, I don't know. Like, I read all 9 of his paragraphs about that and argued with him a little bit. Like that's what I get out of Reddit is those kind of conversations.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't mind reading though. I'm an adult. I'm literate. It's I went to school for a lot of years to learn how to read, and I'm gonna do it.
I will say in the last, I don't know, year or two, I've not attempted to post anything too lengthy or too thoughtful on there because I feel like for a time, maybe 2-3 years ago, I did here and there, and I felt like no one ever read it. Like I'd put a lot of thought into something and get like 2 comments and nothing, and then it would get washed behind. Hey, look at me! I made it to the Champions League finally as a Town Hall 9. Look at and or back when there used to just be a ton of memes on there. Like the memes get upvoted and my thoughtful post would just way down to the bottom of the page.
Apparently,
Yeah,
you didn't read your comments and posts. Big P. You got one fan out there.
Not not back then he didn't. He didn't. No, he didn't. Because I commented on his post to Darian's mashup madness thing, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, man, I said something like you're awful needy, and he was like, no, I'm not. And he totally thought I was someone else. He didn't even realize who it was trying to give him a hard time. There's no way he's done that. I had a post a couple of years ago that got a lot of attention. It was a heartwarming story about me playing Clash with the stepson when he was younger and had no idea I mean, he still has no idea what he's doing. But when he was much younger and really didn't know what he was doing, and that was right during COVID, so I was trying to like get him into the game, and he was home. He couldn't go to school, had all this extra time, so I was trying to give him something that we could both relate to. And I had a really long, storied post and it got a lot of attention. And then about a month later, I came back and did a follow up to it, and it had like 2 comments.
Damn.
Nothing.
yeah.
But
I mean, like Reddit's also just weird sometimes too. Like, things need traction early and quick, and a lot of it in order to really take off. Like, Magic Junior made a post a month or two ago just about like it was his hit rate post, and then he also made a Reddit bot to where you could type in your account tag, and then it would his bot would go look up your stats and send it back to you, and it was the most commented on Reddit post ever of people just using his bot to check their stats. And then he made a follow-up post to that about like the hit rates after the balance changes
Mhm.
just a couple weeks ago, and like 3 people saw it. So it like the same the same information updated, awesome follow-up, a great follow-up post, and no one cared at all. It's weird. Like, you got to catch people at the right time.
Well, in the Reddit community's defense, Magic did not put near as much time, energy, and thought into that second post, partially because he's still working on recording that first episode of his own podcast. So, he hadn't.
No,
He hadn't.
and he also and it
Uh, we lose you.
Uh-oh, Rick.
Yeah, I lost B. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like Magic with that post, Magic also made me look like a jerk too because he uploaded it weird. Like he didn't put a lot of effort into the graphic or whatever. So then I know like we talked about it. I don't know if you guys listened to, or I think it was 2 episodes ago where I was talking about like being baffled by why the Town Hall 11 hit rates were so wrong. But apparently that was the competition hit rates. So that was like no siege Town Hall 11. So of course it made sense that the hit rates weren't fantastic.
Couldn't even imagine playing Town Hall 11 with no siege.
Yeah,
Awful.
it's tough. I don't like it.
I do
I
it
like
because no
crushing
one
Town
in
Hall
the
11.
clan gives me troops because I'm the only one in that clan. After Dark, Dead Clan.
No, you're bringing it back, right?
No,
I mean,
not doing anything with
you
it.
are the leader.
I'm the co-leader.
Oh.
So until I get that leader, I just missed my trash can. Until I get that leader mark, I'm not doing shit.
I was co-leader there once.
Who is the leader there?
Heroes wife. I think. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So,
And
go ahead, Adams.
I was gonna back to your story about. Didn't you do a stream with your son too, like or your stepson, while you're trying to teach him how to play Clash?
Me?
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
a long time ago. Yeah,
I
because he
had
was like behind you.
I
Yeah.
used to have like there was a couple times when was streaming consistently. It's about every Friday because it was like Friday afternoons was always the time where I would get done with work early. I'd try to do like a mid-afternoon stream, and then he'd get home from school and then hop on, and I'd try to teach him on stream, and yeah, it didn't always work that well. He ended up like, just want to be like, am I on TV? Am I on TV? Like focus on your hit, focus on your hit. And then he just like, oh yeah, my hit. Like he just drop everything and look back like, like you're supposed to be waiting for this. You're supposed to be counting, like timing stuff like that. Like no. Am I on Twitch? Am I famous now? Like there's 6 people watching, dude. Okay, just so then we scrapped the idea. It was maybe we'll bring it back when he's a little more mature. Maybe. All right. So Reddit Clash as the lifeline to really the community, and then you guys give a lot of feedback to Supercell. Obviously, you guys are really big in the information account security changes that they made, which quite frankly, I've loved that the point, especially since they've done that, is if you don't take advantage of it, then stop crying about losing your account. And I've even heard Darian say a couple of times, like, they get all of this feedback on, oh, I'm still losing my account. Yeah, well, we're not coming out and saying, but the reality is most of you that are losing them are bought or shared accounts that the people are still complaining about. What other advantages past that do you think the subreddit has by having such a, I guess, more influence over the game and some of the people that work there, or I guess more of a, I guess, a direct line of contact with Darian? How does that help you guys moderate and do good stuff for the subreddit? Or
I think our connection to Supercell is probably like the one redeeming quality that Reddit has left still. So it's a much more meaningful way to interact with people for Darian, I believe, than like on Twitter or in the comment section of Facebook because obviously for a few reasons. If Darian is like replying in tweets, not everyone's going to see that. But if he replies on Reddit, like we have a bot that links to his comments in the top comment of everything he comments on. It reflares the post. You can see like, hey, like Supercell is responding to something in this post, and then upvotes are gonna elevate that to be visible anyway. So I think it's a much easier way for them to get the word out. And yeah, I don't know, like advantages to us too. It keeps the subreddit relevant.
Sure.
Like all the official announcements get posted there. Darian will come post the sneak peeks himself. Answer questions about it too. Like they will spread other stuff through Reddit too. They did the chat survey over the summer. They did a recruitment tool survey back then. They asked for clan capital feedback through a big Reddit survey. So it's, I don't know. I hope it's useful to them as well. Like we try and manage things that to at least not like interfere or counteract what they're doing. We don't Like they don't tell us what to do or or give us advice or directions or anything, but we have a post flare for like ideas and game feedback. So if anyone at Supercell wants to actually browse and see what people are suggesting, it's easy for them to just see that whole category of posts.
Do you
But
think
it is nice just to have like it's probably one of the easier ways for people to come and interact with the community manager.
Do you
Yeah.
think if let's say someone like myself, had a really good creative idea to help the game, something that was practical, something that actually, the developers, once they heard it, would be like, holy shit, this guy is onto something. Do you think it's got a better chance of reaching them by posting it on the subreddit and then it garnering some attention from there, or by, say, I don't know, recording and talking about it on a podcast? Which do you think is more likely for someone on the Supercell team to hear it?
So I don't know if anyone at Supercell listens to any of the podcasts.
Who's a
It'd be
bitch?
cool. Hey, if you do, say hi. I'm in Slack. But I know, like if you post an idea on Reddit, ideally they're going to be able to see it if it gets traction. Other people are going to be able to discuss your idea with you. So hopefully. Like Darian always says that they do watch the sub, and there are people beyond him who read posts and will take notes on what the community's thinking. So, and also if you like send an idea through the chat in game, the last I know of, the automatic template response that you get, it tells you like, hey, go to Reddit and post it on Reddit.
Okay. So it
Yeah,
doesn't say start your own podcast and start bitching about it there.
uh it's going to be more visible on Reddit, unless you guys are doing ridiculous download numbers that would be shocking to me. Even
Why would it be
even the
shocking to
worst
you?
post even the worst post on Reddit is probably going to get seen more than like all of our podcasts put together.
For now. Well, we're still
For now,
growing
yeah.
the show. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's
We're
early.
getting
It's still
fans every
early.
day. Come on.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, Rick. So when
Wait.
Darian does stuff like with the mashup feedback, where he went on and is like, "Hey, we want to hear what you guys thought about the mashup," and just downloaded that onto the subreddit and let all the comments, give feedback. Does he let you guys know that he's doing that, or does he just like post and you guys are like, "Oh crap, Darian is asking for feedback"?
Most of the time he just does it. There have been a few times in the past where he'll say, "Hey, heads up, I want to post this. Is it cool?" Or there's been other times where he's asked for help. Like there was one of the dev videos. I don't remember what update it was. Maybe a builder base one.
Mhm.
But I know he had said, "Hey, I'm looking for like Reddit comments that talk about this subject. Can you guys help me find a bunch of examples?" And then a lot of those ended up being used in the dev video. And occasionally in the past, they've asked for like how many users and stuff we have. I think the last time they really asked for that is when they were deciding whether or not to shut the forums down.
Oh, okay.
So I had this.
Was
I had this as a question. I kind of skipped over it, but since you brought it up, why did they go away? Because they used to have the Clash Clan forums and then the subreddit, and those were kind of like the two main online like big chat areas or big places to gather ideas. And then forums just kind of went away. And I think Supercell. I think I remember Darian saying like, no, our preferred method of having this is to actually use Reddit for it. Do you have any idea why they did that? Why the forums were just
Yeah. So they didn't like consult with us that they were gonna do it, but
Mhm.
so let me look. Like yesterday, let me pull this up. Okay, yesterday Reddit had 72,000 unique visitors, and for the entire last month, it's floated right around like 75,000. The highest was 86, and the lowest like 62,000 unique visitors a day. And there's really been not a whole lot going on, like the end of Clash and Ween, but whatever. during sneak peeks and updates, the number of unique people visiting a day goes up to like 1 to 1.5 million. So
shit.
like, like I said it earlier, like Reddit is really popular. Not that I'm
Mhm.
taking credit for it, but like Reddit's used a lot by a lot of people, and there's a lot of visibility. And when they closed the forums, Darian said there were roughly 200 people active daily on the forums.
Oh, okay.
It's just
So
numbers. It just
there
died
was
out.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, just like the forum software infrastructure, whatever computer dork term they had, there were like security concerns
Oh,
about accounts and how that stuff was aging, and to update the forum website, continue to maintain it, financially didn't make sense for so few people.
But financially, it made better sense to just pass them all off to you guys.
Reddit, they spend $0 to have a Reddit presence.
I know, so that's what I'm saying. Financially, it made more sense for them to just let someone do it for free, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
there are perks to the few of us who are in the creator program. So with their even comparing the cost to fly me and a couple other people out to Finland once a year, is probably the best deal in the world compared to what it was costing them to maintain forums.
Yeah. Well, before we go to the next topic, I do want to talk about when Darian tried to do a Q&A in the Discord. There, I don't know if you remember that, Rick.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I was in there and I felt so bad for Darian because all the questions were the same shit over and over again. And I had people message me in Discord like, ask him a real question because these questions suck. It's like I don't know what to ask him. Like I'm just having fun hearing these questions repeatedly. And how many people is global chat coming back? And then 2 other people later, "Is global back?" It's like, dude, they're not gonna bring it back. Stop asking. Why do you want it back?
Like,
It's trash.
like go look at, like, open up any Clash post on Twitter or Facebook. I assume it's on Instagram. I don't use Instagram and look, but like read all the comments on any of those posts, and it's just 99.9% pure trash like that. Bring global back, demands for other stuff. People saying join my clan. Other garbage nonsense. It's
Barry and
impossible to
my
have like a
account got hacked.
conversation
Help me
there.
out, please.
Yeah, yeah,
Please.
exactly.
Not
So
fair.
just like another reason why I think Reddit's superior social media for people looking to
Yeah,
have real interactions.
yeah.
So let me ask you this: would you consider yourself a fan, like previous to becoming a moderator? Were you more of a fan of Reddit just as a platform in general, like not just for Clash but for other content, or podcasts? Because I know you've listened and interacted with Clash podcasts or podcasts in general for a long time, actually much longer than me or Adams have. But would you say that your interest earlier started in Reddit or with just podcasts in general?
I don't know, like both. I've always been like into podcasts. Even before there were podcasts, I was a weird kid who I would listen to talk radio. Like
Hell
when I
yeah.
could, instead of. I've never been a huge music guy. Like I like music, but it's almost never what I'm listening to. Like from the minute I found Reddit, it's been like my go-to place on the internet for anything. Like I want to start hammock camping, I'm gonna go to like r/hammocks and start asking hammock questions, or
Hell yeah.
like pick up a new game or a TV show. I'm gonna go like subscribe to that subreddit and just see what people are saying and go from there. And the same goes for if I get into something else.
Mhm.
I'll look for if there's a podcast on it and try and find at least one good one that I'll listen to before exploring other stuff.
Okay. Is there a movie Reddit subreddit about movies? Just all
Oh my
about
Yeah,
movies?
god.
yeah. There's a million. There's like every movie has its own subreddit. Like every genre of movies will have one. Every like movie studios will have one. Actors and actresses will have their individual ones. Like you can find a subreddit for literally everything.
Adams. They've got subreddits for all kinds of movies. I
Make my own
mean,
subreddit.
There's
all
subreddits for
kinds.
pictures of naked ladies that you would like. There's a subreddit for everything.
There's subreddits dedicated to just certain like shapes and forms of boobs too. So if you got particular
Okay, I'm gonna
taste,
start looking at Reddit more. Look at some boobies.
where you been, man? Come on. You just gotta
know.
figure out what the tagline is. Like r/. It's
Yeah.
never something that's like painfully obvious, at least to me. Like Clash of Clans makes sense, like r/Clash of Clans. Okay, but
Mhm.
some of the more nuanced ones, like you just got to figure whatever the creator was thinking when they made it, because it might be the theme you're looking for, but the name of it might not necessarily be the obvious one that you're thinking of. So
Make my own subreddit.
Yeah. There's weird there's a lot of weird ones too. Like r/trees is all about marijuana, and then and then if you go to r/marijuana enthusiasts, that's all about like trees, like how to take care of the trees in your yard and forestry health and stuff like that. So it's not all of Reddit makes perfect sense.
That's awesome.
there's a lot of subtle sarcasm in there too. That's
Yeah.
some of that's in the names as well. But talking about podcasts, so the Reddit Talks Clash podcast, obviously, it's all guys that are moderators, and you guys have been recording for a while now. You tried out a couple different lineups early on. I think I might have teased you guys at one point in time about having a whole bunch of different guys on here and there, but you've kind of hit your stride on the main ones that are between you and Sam and Spencer, kind of as the three major ones on there, and then you have Liam that comes on every once in a while. Now, was doing that and organizing, was that your brainchild? Was that your idea, or was that something that you guys all collectively kind of thought of at the same time you wanted to do?
So that was the way it started. Was one day Reddit, the site Reddit shot out a mod mail to a bunch of different random subs and said, "Hey, you've been randomly selected for a trial of this new feature we're going to put up called Reddit Talks." It was a ripoff of Clubhouse, if anyone knows the Clubhouse app, where it's just, "Hey, like we're going to let you stream an audio in an audio only stream on a Reddit post, and then people can comment. You guys can bring up everyone else to the audience. You raise your hand and you can be brought on to speak. Do with it what you want to do with it." And I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. Maybe we can have Darian do some do some AMAs just through voice and blah blah blah. And it was a different mod, a former mod, Mac. If you listen to the early ones, Mac was on a lot of them. And it was his idea first, I believe, where he was like, "We got to do a podcast with this." And then I was like, "Hell yeah, we got to do a podcast." I had just started getting back into Reddit podcasts or Clash podcasts. I was listening to, Clash Tips was going strong at the time. Catfishes, Clashing in Traffic, Pineapples with Thorns was going. Crystal to Join. Clash on the Potty was the other big one then. Yeah, I started listening to all those guys. The Only Clash podcast, of course. Yeah, and then just a month or two later, Reddit dropped this thing in our lap to do an audio stream, and we're like, cool, let's do this. And we talked about different concepts of what to do, and originally it was like, cool, let's highlight the more popular posts on the subreddit and use those as jumping off points to talk about Clash. And we did a lot of like the early ones. We did a lot of concepts, like, cool, this guy posted a concept on what a super miner could be, and I don't even remember it. And then we would just use those as conversation starters, and we've kind of gotten away from that, but being in the creator program gives us access to like direct message a lot of people just to say, "Hey, do you want to come on a podcast?" The one night I just kind of got a little drunk and was just like, "Well, I'll just shoot my shot. Like, I'll just shoot a message to Judo and see what happens." And then he said yes, like immediately, and then so yeah, that's normally how that works out. Is just like I will very slowly type a message at 2 a.m. to someone and be like, "Do you want to come on a podcast?" And
I have a funny topic on that. So, y'all know Pilot 51, right?
Yep.
So he messaged me randomly. He's like, "That's before the Pod Wars." Like, "Hey, we're doing a Pod Wars thing." He's like, I'll be working." He's like, "Okay." He said he could watch. He's like, "Oh, by the way, I'll tell Carbon Finn about your podcast, and maybe I can get him to be a guest." I was like, "There's no fucking way Carbon Fin would come onto this fucking podcast. There's no fucking way.
I mean, he might one day.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he keeps it fairly PG-13, right?
Yeah, he's like PG,
I mean,
maybe PG-13ish.
we're totally kid friendly right here.
Yeah, because one episode I didn't say the F word like 68 times.
That's only because we counted that
Oh.
time. All right.
Just
I don't even think that's really our record.
I guess anyway, back to your question. Yeah, originally the people most interested were myself, Sam, and then two other former mods, Mac and his brother Lion, who we were always back and forth between calling like Frank and Lionheart and whatever, because his Reddit username was Frank Bang, and his like Clash name when what he went by elsewhere was Lionheart. So us four guys, and Spencer started hanging out, and he would help like by pinning all the links for the post we were talking about. He would drop links on the Reddit post and manage that and ban all the people who were like trying to troll in the comments, which is almost like a live chat, but it was a Reddit post. And then eventually, yeah, we just convinced Spencer to start talking, and he did more. Mac and Frank kind of drifted away. They got busy doing other stuff in their life, and like just kind of stopped showing up. Eventually, they both stepped down from the mod team, but no weird drama with them not doing it anymore. Yeah, we've had other mods coming on. We're gonna talk to two other guys next week when we meet in Finland. You're gonna try and record with a couple other people and just go from there.
Y'all are gonna do one live in Finland?
Probably not live, just because the way I don't want to bring my laptop.
Come on.
Do it.
We're gonna
Do it.
record.
Tell Spencer to do it.
Yeah,
he'll do it if you tell him.
I know. I'm gonna bring all the heavy, stupid like the microphones and the audio interface and everything else. Like Spencer should bring a laptop, and maybe we'll see if it works out
Make
or not.
Spencer do it.
Yeah, make Spencer do it. He'll do it.
Spencer can do it.
You just have to ask him nicely.
I know. I brought a lot of podcast stuff last year, and then I realized man, I'm not gonna be the weird guy who's like, come back up to my hotel room and record a podcast with me. I know I just
do
met
it in
you,
your
but,
hotel room. Do it down in the hotel bar, man. Come on.
Yeah.
In front of everyone.
Yeah, where it's all loud.
Yes.
Where it's loud and people are.
Yes, that's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Show your face is getting plastered while you do a podcast. Come on.
I know, and we have plans this month. We'll see if it works out or not.
Plans.
What kind of plan?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Secret plan.
To meet up and record.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay. I thought it was secret stuff.
Yeah, I thought
no.
I thought it was gonna be something cool, not just you and Spencer hanging out together.
So speaking of that, so any of those Reddit like live recordings that just spark you like, hey, we should put this on Spotify and like actually do it regularly?
That was that was the goal right from the start is when we started playing with it, we did a couple tests talks to see okay, can we even download the audio? Is it even possible?
Uh-huh.
Or are we or will I need to download OBS and record it that way? And we're just trying to figure out. But the intent was always to do it live on Reddit talks and then publish it later.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like especially the early ages, even when we started ours, we were trying to figure out the best site, and then Big B found Buzzsprout, which just sends it to everything, and we only have to go to one site instead of everywhere else. So that's I love that site. So
Did you?
Oh yeah, I'd been listening to Clash and Traffic, and he did his little Spotify or in Anchor back then, his little Anchor ad at the start of every episode. So we just went straight to Anchor, and I didn't even really think about it or do any research.
Yeah, there was Adams. I don't know if I ever told you there was a day there early on we were recording where Rick and I were going back and forth in DMs, and that was when he let me know God damn it, how did you get on the first page of Google search for Clash Podcast and you guys just started? And I was like, well, we use this thing called Buzzsprout. So he goes, does that help you on Google search? And I'm like, I guess.
Apparently it does.
Apparently.
It lists us on Google Podcasts. So
I was looking at the other day, where it sends our podcast. There's so many things it sends our podcast to, I didn't know existed. I was like, "What is that? What is that?" I was like, "Okay, cool."
So I know, like right now, if you Google Clash of Clans podcasts, the like in incognito mode, so it's not like tracking me. But there's like an article of like the top 15. There's another one that has you as number one. There's an article that has Pineapples and Thorns as number one. Then clashpodcast.com is Clash Files. And then the Reddit podcast like index is number 4. And I know like I listed us at the top of that one because that actually made it up. And you got Clash Livin', and he hasn't made a podcast in
Wow.
I don't know, 6 months
Well
or more, long time. And Clashing On, which I've never even listened to, that's been dead for years. Cock Talk's dead for years. Clash Tips dead for over a year now. Clash Files is technically not going anymore. I'll call Pineapples and Thorns something else. Bye Forever, Raging Out, Best Clash Files, official CWL podcast, then the Clashuals, way before us, Raging Out, Clash. I'm gonna go through 4 freaking pages
well, I just found
before I
one.
find a direct link to us.
Well, I
I
just
gotta get
found one
better with
that
SEO.
I found one that was uploaded November 6th of this year. It says 15 best casual or Clash of Clans podcast. If I say casual, so Pineapples Thorns is 1. 2 is Inside Clash with Trample Damage. 3 is Clash Tours. Don't know that one. And then you're 4th at Reddit Talks Clash, the official Reddit thing. C2J is 5, and then we're 6. And then there's like Married to Clash, and then Geared Up's 8, and then there's so many other ones I didn't know existed.
So
Yeah, a bunch of dead ones.
there's really
Yeah.
like 6 main still active ones.
Yeah.
And we're number 6 out of that group. So, there's nowhere to go but up.
Well, I mean,
right?
those are just like those are like AI created articles, and they
Yeah.
don't really mean much anyway. I know, like Liam mentioned, it's probably because they have a better Twitter presence. So I think Liam needs to start tweeting out stuff with hashtag Red Talks Clash more, and see if we can displace you on those meaningless charts.
Yeah, Adams isn't even on Twitter.
Nope.
He's not on Reddit. He's not on Twitter. He's not
I have
on
Instagram, but I'm only on there for the hot chicks.
Well, I mean, I had to do all that. I had to do all that Pod Wars, like all the posts and stuff for it. I had to do all that myself. The only one that has
I made the
accounts on
intro.
anything. I even posted them to Facebook. Do you even have a Facebook, Adams?
Yeah, I have a Facebook. It's my personal one. You can add me on there if you want. We'd be friends.
No.
I don't post on them much.
No, I'm good.
No. Yeah, you even made the Clashuals TikTok too.
That's right. We haven't used it, but we got it.
I'm trying to figure out how to, man. Everyone's like, we need to do a minute, like break it down to minutes. It's like, I don't.
Well, you know where the issue comes in, and
My editing skills.
Rick, you'll understand this when it comes to just editing stuff, right? Like, you get a whole bunch of content, and you got to like go in there and like pull out like 30 seconds of something to upload it. Like, I mean, I don't know, what would that take to like go in and pull like a 30-second sound clip and make that a TikTok video? Like, that would probably take you like 2 or 3 full minutes to do. And I mean, who's got that kind of time when it takes that long to edit stuff, right?
Like there are
For me, when there's a 2-hour long video, 30 seconds isn't going to be anything. You know, it's just laughing or seeing something.
I mean, you could probably manage it if you like just grab a pen and paper and write down like a rough timestamp of when something interesting happened. Like if somebody says a really funny joke and got a lot of laughs, then like, hey, just write down, hey, that happened at 1 hour and 4 minutes, and then you go back and like, cool, like there's your short little clip. You go, because it's not like you do a lot of real editing anyway.
Well, I like to keep the content in it. I don't like to edit out all the bullshit.
Yeah,
that's just an excuse to not edit.
It is
Adams.
an excuse.
It's just, you don't really like having all that in. You
do-
just don't want to change it.
I know, because you guys do video too. So if you want to,
Yeah.
if you care about video continuity, that makes it a little harder. 'Cause you're gonna have to like, I cut out most of our like uhs and ums and weird silences, and like if we have to restart something because it got a little off the rails or whatever, we're talking over each other. I will edit that out and try and make it sound smooth, and it's completely not noticeable because it's all audio. Or I hope it's not noticeable. Otherwise, I might suck at editing. But like for you guys to do that in video, it becomes immediately apparent if anyone's watching the video if you all of a sudden like change positions and jump around and stuff. So like I get why you don't do as intense editing.
Yeah.
With at least with video.
I mean, even the way I do it with audio and video is like so the software I use, I can switch it to MP3, but the way I edit, when I do edit, I do a little bit. Like when I go to a bathroom break, and you guys don't talk much about it, I edit out the bathroom breaks. But for me to actually edit out, like sit down and edit a 2-hour video is gonna take me like 8 hours. Just sit there
Yeah,
every
so
minute.
like just our like we will record for like an hour 10, an hour 15 ish.
Mhm.
Editing that down, I'll edit that down to like 50, 55 minutes mostly. I try and get it under an hour. Just doing that will take me 2 to 3 hours sometimes, depending on how hard I go. And that's not even like editing for content, really. That's just cutting out awkward silences and stutters and and stuff like that. And that takes a ton of time. And there are ways to automate it, but I don't feel like paying for it.
Yeah, on
Ooh,
my editing software, there's like AI, like, "Oh, hey, you can use AI to edit it." I was like, "I don't trust AI to edit my videos."
Yeah, there are like AI tools
Yeah.
that will pull like those little 30-second clips for you if you want. I don't know how it decides what is the entertaining part of your podcast or not, but allegedly that exists.
I don't know
Yeah.
about that, but for our actual audio, there's another level of subscription in Buzzsprout where they will engineer all the audio and they'll cut down the silence, but they'll do leveling to make sure that everyone sounds exactly the same too. I just got to pay a little more money for it.
Yeah,
I can teach you guys how to do that in like
it's not us,
2
it's me.
minutes.
It's me.
Yeah, like I could teach
That
B to
sounds
do
like
it in 2
reading
minutes. I could
stuff
teach
to me.
Adams to do it in like an hour.
Uh,
Like it's really not hard, and there are like free programs to do it.
I mean,
Okay, well, whenever
that to me sounds like, oh man, I got this really cool, really powerful attack to use. I can teach it to you. It takes a lot of coordination. I'm like, I can spam some dragons and be, good enough.
maybe I'll sit down with you, Rick, one of these days, and we'll go through it.
Yeah. If you ever want to learn, man, just reach out and ask, dude. I'm glad to help you out.
When it
Listen,
comes to audio, yeah, with my, like, headset, like, I have to turn it up way loud so I get the audio, like, so it's matching. I need to get a better setup, but, now that I have a job, I can do that. But, yeah, with audio, I need help with it because, like, sometimes Big B will like, "Hey, I'm louder than all of you." I was like, "Fuck." Then I have to go into the editing and then fix the levels and then repost it, and it's a pain in the ass.
I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever
like
said
I
that
mean,
I'm
if you
louder
guys
than
are,
you guys.
Yeah, you did.
When?
Oh my god, I don't remember. It
Exactly.
was a
I know,
See, it's
I've
never
said that
happened.
to you. I
no.
know I've said that to you
Yeah, he
guys.
said that too. But I remember you messaged me once because you were in your car and you're like, "Hey, I'm louder than all the rest of you." I was like, "Fuck," and then had to go in and fix the audio. Because when you were driving in your car, I remember that.
Oh, I'll just pay for this extra level in Buzzsprout and it'll fix everything. And then we don't
If you
have to
want
do
to,
any
yeah.
work, and we can go back to shit talking Gartic phone, right?
That game is so fucking fun.
So you were talking about the Reddit Talks Clash podcast just in general. Um, is there a downside for the way that you guys do? Because the whole premise behind the RTC podcast is that you guys are Reddit moderators. So it's not like just being some random guy out there in the community. Honestly, like for the most part, me and Adams are, other than streaming some stuff on Twitch, like direct connection to us, unless someone's like going out to find our Discord, something like that. Not necessarily, but for you guys and having on one side some sort of direct line contact or at least some influence with Supercell, and the other side such a large number of people, in the Reddit subforum, day in day out. Is there a downside to hosting a podcast because of that, or something that maybe the average listener would understand, or maybe you didn't anticipate going into it?
No, I mean like really, the Clash podcast audience globally is really small. Uh, so like most of Reddit probably doesn't know that there's a Reddit Clash podcast.
Mhm.
I was like I never want to really pimp it too much because I just feel like we would be breaking our own rules against self promotion if I was constantly like, oh, and by the way, we do a podcast, and people just say, shut up, janitor, get back to removing posts. Like, no one cares about your podcast, which would be the reaction for most people anyway. But
Yeah.
I know, like, a ton of downsides to our position in doing a podcast, I guess, would be, I mean, I do often know about upcoming content, sometimes a long time out. So, Spencer is in the program with me. Spencer has an NDA. Sam doesn't. So there's a lot of times where, like, if we want to plan out an episode, sometimes we have to do that without Sam, and and then also too, like, sometimes Sam will ask questions or say something that me and Spencer know but aren't allowed to really talk about.
Yeah.
And I don't like pretending to not know, and I don't like faking, like, yeah, I know, so I mostly just try and avoid it because I know I'm a bad liar.
Yeah.
So sometimes that complicates things, or Sam will suggest a topic and I have to be like, we can't do that Friday, but we could do that Sunday if we wait. And then, and he's respectful enough to know we can't tell him certain things and have to wait.
Why is Sam not allowed in the creator program? Is it because he's awful at the game? That way?
Yeah, he's Brits, dude. Like, the Finns and the Brits have a long storied history of toxic behavior and hating each other, I assume.
Well, apparently Finland doesn't exist. So.
Well, I get that as rationale. Honestly, it took me a while to come around to Sam because he was he's very British on the podcast. He was also early on. He was always the one that was like, I don't know. There was a time. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was a time, like, when y'all first started, like, he wasn't even playing like Town Hall 14 when that was the max town level. He was like, oh, I have a Town Hall 13, and I'm like, why are you a moderator then? You don't even know what happens at the highest level.
So I know he and I joined the mod team at the same time, and he was like, we were max 14s, and he would have been like a semi rush 13. He has since caught up, but I did like it at the time too, because like, a lot of Reddit isn't max Town Hall 15. Like, there's a lot of max 15s there, but it's also a lot of Town Hall 6s who just started playing and say, oh, hey, I found this old cool mobile game. I should go check out the subreddit and try and learn about it. So I did want to make sure that we're not, like, always getting locked into Town Hall 15 conversations, and we've completely failed at that, because 15 is all we ever talk about, because we're all 15s now. But it was, like a little perk at the start. But it was never anything like shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. And like, I play enough lower levels too to where I think I can cover a lot of it, but
Well, Big B, I give it to Sam. When they recorded Friday, he was drinking. It was a little boozed up.
Listen, I assume whether he says it or not, since he's British, that he's always drinking, at least under the cover, maybe. But
it is weird because he's been he just hit a milestone birthday, so he's now an adult. But like, over the years, he would occasionally drop that, like, he's had a few beers, and I'd be like, wait, aren't you like 16? And then he's like, oh no, like, England is weird like that, and you're allowed to have an ale at the pub.
It's not weird like that. It's cool like that.
Toast the king.
Yeah. Toast the king.
Yeah, no, so it'd be weird. Like, he'd be like, send me stuff in the middle of the night when he's hammered, and I have to be like, dude, I'm not drunk texting a 16-year-old. Like, leave me alone.
Is that why he can't get an NDA, because he's not a legal adult yet?
Now that he is, he can. So we're gonna think about that and try and figure it out for him.
Yeah. So what you're saying is he just turned 21, I'm assuming?
No, he's in England, so he's a little younger. I don't want to put him too much on blast and dox him.
Yeah, stop doxing him, Adams. Okay, he's still 16.
He's still 16 at heart.
Cool. So then when he gets an NDA, then he can just, take his boat across the pond over to Worlds next year. That'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, like,
a little ferry.
It's not entirely, like, up to us, like who does or not. We can like we can ask and we can say, hey, like, you know, the way it worked with Spencer too. Spencer was doing a lot of our event wars. They just did a massive one too. But yeah, like there was like a good reason for him to be able to contact community managers, you know, people other than Darian too. So we said, hey, we have another mod who could really use access and a direct line of communication to you guys. Would it be cool to add him? And then it's up to them to say like yes or no. So like, I mean, I can't promise, you know, that anyone else is ever gonna get one. I can't guarantee they're not gonna boot us all out once they realize like, wait, why are the Reddit mods here? Like what? Like what purpose do they serve? Like, the question I'm afraid to ask.
So when you first got the opportunity to be part of that creator, the program, just not creator, whatever it is called,
The
were you
creator
like really
program.
excited? Yeah, creator program. Were you excited, or were you like kind of like, do I really want to do this? Do I
Oh
really
hell
want
yeah, I
all
was
this? Like,
excited, dude. Just like yeah, just you know, like access to the dev build. Like
mhm,
it's cool. It's fun. It's really cool seeing you know, obviously seeing the updates early, but like seeing the way they change through a little bit through the process. Like we'll do
mhm,
a lot of times like several rounds of test wars and feedback, and we'll see things change. And a lot of times you can get like sneak peeks really early in the dev build. Like we saw a lot of the Halloween troops like back in May. Like they were
ooh,
really unfinished and didn't have
okay,
animations. We're like, what the hell is this? I remember we seen the Super Hog Rider really early, where like in the dev build it just looked like another Hog Rider, but it was red. It was kind of like all grayed out red, and then you threw it, and then when it died, it split into like a mini Hog Rider and a Barb, and we're just trying to figure out what the hell that was, but it was like the first little look at a Super Hog that had slipped through, you know, 6 months early. So like
gotcha.
seeing stuff like that's really fun, and
Uh,
obviously being able to just talk to people.
Are those videos you always see online, like on YouTube, where it's like, all right, here's the king versus like 12 monoliths? Is that stuff they can build in the dev build? Is that where they do that?
Mostly that is like private servers where that happens. Uh, I allegedly you can do that in the dev build now. I think that's newer. I think it was Clash Ninja was telling me how to do it, but it's like the most weird convoluted giant menu to navigate while you're using the dev build. A lot of stuff I still don't know how to do.
You got this
interesting.
tool, this access that everyone else wants, and you haven't even taken the time to figure out how to get 12 monoliths on your map yet.
Like I said the other day, but like there's a lot of times where like I don't like they'll send a message out like, hey, here's the new thing, like it's live in the dev build right now, and I won't even download it. You know, like I don't need to go play to see that, you know, and test it out. You know, I'll just hear what Spencer Ninja says about it. But you know, if it's a real new content, yeah, I'll go play with it and do the test wars and have a blast doing that.
Can't believe
But
it.
you know, like what's that saying where like every hot girl you see, there's a guy somewhere who's tired of boner.
You
That's
know,
that's kind of what it is about with the dev build some days.
I've gone to great lengths creating a Twitch account and live streaming and a podcast and Discord page, everything like that, just to one day get a creator code just so that I can go in and put like 30 infernos in the same base just for that. And here you are with access to do it and you don't even try.
Well, like so, I mean, I could never show it to you. You're not supposed to
I
stream
wouldn't show anyone either.
like
Just for
yeah.
me.
Just for me.
Just because I could.
All right, I will. I don't
Mm,
know if there's an active dev build right now or not because a lot of times like it'll like they'll shut it down
mhm.
in between content stuff. So I don't know if there's anything up right now even, but the next time I do have access to it, I will go try and put 30 infernos down and be bored and then attack it anyway, and then I'll message you like, "Hey, I did it. It was boring."
Tell me how many ice golems it takes to take out 30 single target inferno towers, okay? That's what I want to know.
That'd be a shit
Okay,
ton.
That's
Uh,
that's all I want to
I
know.
will try.
I can imagine Big B's
I mean,
base to be
Galadon
everything.
basically did that challenge one time where it was like 30,
Yeah, but then I'd have to
30
watch
infernos.
Galadon, so no. Let's
Well,
do
he
it for
does stream
me.
on Twitch, and he only gets like 2 viewers on Twitch. So
We've already talked about him way too much,
yeah,
okay? More
we
than
mentioned him
um
too much. Yeah.
So cycling out of podcasts, and then I guess just generally about the game. And I wrote down this question before I watched the Judo Sloth video last week with Darian. Did you watch that, Rick? Did you get a chance to?
I did, man. Like I watched it while I was like building a desk in for a new computer desk, and so I had it on YouTube on my phone, and I forgot how infuriating YouTube on my phone is because it breaks for an ad like every 3 minutes. I had to like
Yeah.
interrupt that conversation thread, and the whole time I was thinking. Because it had only been out for a few hours when I watched it, and I was sitting there like watching the views like tick up to 10, 15, 80,000. It's probably way higher than that now. And I'm like, this is basically just a podcast. This is just an audio interview. There's nothing visually intriguing about this video. This is a podcast. Like there is an audience for just listening to a Darian interview that numbers in 6 digits. Like like we gotta do better. Like I had Darian and I didn't get anywhere near that.
Well, we're trying. We've
But,
got a YouTube page for the Clashuals too.
Yeah.
So
oh yeah,
we're not quite Judo Sloth numbers yet, but I do think we're up to like 42 subscribers. Adams,
I can check right
40?
now.
I think we said a couple weeks ago. I think it was at 41, but I think we're up to 42 now. So,
We're at 44.
44.
Let's go. Only a million to go.
Yeah. So I mean, it's things are really picking up for us.
you can sign up to be a Supercell creator. Like now, you won't have access to everything, but I think you guys should be at the minimums for basic level access.
Like what is the bare like? Is 44 enough for the bare minimum?
Bare necessities. What's the
Let me look up and make sure I'm not talking to my butt and saying
we do get a
stuff
lot
I'm
of
not supposed
people
to.
on YouTube though.
I mean, if we were able to use like our Buzzsprout numbers, I mean, we could show like a couple hundred downloads and stuff from there across like a couple hundred different platforms that it gets posted to. So
our last 4 videos, Pod Wars has 110 views. I still have to edit that video down. Our Halloween mashup with C2J has 35. Me and Ghost Knight has 24. And then episode 10 has 7 right now.
So okay, you guys can sign up as a user for the Supercell Creator Portal, which is now the lowest tier is user, but you can get access with 100 YouTube subscribers, 25 Twitch followers, or you're not on TikTok, so whatever. So I mean, each of you has 25 Twitch followers, right?
I have
used to.
2,523.
If not, you could get it soon by just telling everyone, hey, just go do this, and then you can sign up. I know that there's like Creator Academy courses, which is just videos to watch of just like a ton of advice for creators and growing channels and how to make better content and et cetera, et cetera. And so you can watch all the Creator Academy stuff as a user, and if you want to start growing your channel the way that Powerbank says you should.
By the way, Adams, I know you changed the password to the Buzzsprout website.
I sent it to you.
Yeah, it didn't work. You sent me the wrong one. Thanks a lot.
Oh, did it?
I'd be shocked to let people know that you misspelled whatever the new password is, but it doesn't work. I just tried to put it in. I was going to pull up our stats because I don't think what you're telling them is even accurate, but I can't do it. You locked me out.
I know all about changing the password for podcast access because of dorks.
We're sending it to you.
I know you sent it to me. What you sent to me does not work.
I just copied what I wrote in my notes.
Oh, God.
Read out the password?
No.
I'm just going to copy and paste it and... Nope.
Fucking kidding me?
Yeah, copy and paste it into chat.
Yeah, I wish I was kidding you. Didn't work. I copied and pasted it in. Didn't work.
Well, what are you looking at? I'm on it right now.
I'm on the Buzzsprout page.
No, I meant what are you trying to look at on the Clashuals thing?
The stats. Because what you were reading at how many downloads, you're looking at probably like last 30 days.
No, I was looking at I was talking about YouTube, not Buzzsprout. So last 7 days we have 39 downloads on the 15th of November. 39.
Yeah, like access to the creator site is basically just based off followers or subscribers.
All time, we have 3,405 downloads since published.
Hey, nice.
But I will figure out the password and send to you.
So things are getting pretty, pretty serious now.
Sorry, the password doesn't work. It should work for me.
So
Anyway.
one of the things that that Darian and Judo talked about in that video was the whole idea of rotating their updates between the three major gameplays, between Builder Hall, Capital Hall, and then the Town Hall Village. And it sounds like Darian is backing off the stance they came out with earlier this year and thinking that each update was gonna focus on a different one. And he said that they've since realized that that's probably not the best way to do. What was your thought on just rotating content updates through those? And essentially, the plan would have been for whatever the new Town Hall was, Town Hall 15, you get the launch. 9 months later, you get like a Town Hall 15.5 update. I think that's exactly what he called it. And then 9 months after that, new Town Hall.
Yeah, that sucks, and I think everyone knew it was gonna suck right away, except them. Last year in Finland at the Worlds, we were at like a dinner party one night, and I was sitting across from Stuart, like the who's the game lead, and they had just shown us like the whole future of the game, like all of Town Hall 15 and what the update cycle was gonna be, and how they're saying, okay, cool, like Town Hall 15 is coming in, in a couple weeks, the fall, and then following that is going to be, I forget what it was, Capital, and then Builder Base revamp, and then when Town Hall 15 refresh is what they're calling it then, and then yeah, they just said we're going to cycle, and between the three pillars of Clash. And then a couple hours later, we were at dinner. I was like, "Hey, you're gonna tell people this, right? Like, because people are gonna be expecting, like the long, like the trickle of content that we had through Town Hall 13 and Town Hall 14, where quarterly it was, even through 12, it was like slowly releasing more walls was the main thing, and then through Town Hall 14 was like we had this like trickle of content, a little bit of stuff here and there, and everyone hated it. It was one of the main complaints about 14 at the time, where people were saying Town 14 is too easy, but also like I'm tired of this, like the trickle of a little bit of content here and there, and it wasn't enough. So I think they just overcorrected by thinking they could get away with 9 months between main village updates, and it seemed like for a while that they've wanted to get away from that. But I don't know. Like we'll see how much that sticks, and what the next Town Hall cycle is going to bring next year, and what everything they're going to do with that.
Do you mean that it seemed like they were trying to get away from the quarterly content updates to the main village?
No. Like, so it's still quarterly contents, but just the way they were releasing Town Hall 14 content, just because it was like, here's a couple levels, here's some more walls, a couple troops, and then it was just the quarterly. Just a little bit of more Town Hall 14 to do, that if you had magic items and CDBL medals, you maxed it in like 2 days, and you're back to being maxed with nothing to do for 3 months until the next quarterly update. And then they just overcorrected and went to like, here's a whole ton of stuff to do all at once, and then now wait for 9 months to touch your home village again.
Yeah.
So I hope they get away from it, because it was a big overcorrection.
Yeah, I think we talked about it, like in theory, like just on paper, it sounded doable, and I don't know, it sounded like it could work out. And then we got through that first 9 months, and it's kind of like, okay, I don't think that was that bad. And now we're only a couple months into that second 9 month time frame, and it feels like everyone's just like, no, God, no, please give us something different, something to change this up. And I don't know. I don't feel like the average user now that's playing mobile games, like they're mobile phone invested for a lot of their social construct, a lot of what they do, and that instant gratification is kind of a big thing to them. And there's something about telling someone, "Oh, you got to wait 9 months until there's more of this." I think that it drives people to be disinterested before they even give it a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, and then also too, it's just the fact that it's such an old game, and it's you're looking at 3-4 years until you're at end game content, and that end game content's going to change by the time you get there, and it's already like well past the lifespan of any typical mobile game by 3 times over. So I don't know, like I don't know how they're gonna address it. They seem to it's still living and going strong now, but a year or 2 years from now, I don't know. Hopefully they got plans, but Darian did tell Judo too. They got they doubled their team size basically, and they got a lot more people working on a lot of stuff concurrently. So hopefully that's a signal of good things to come as far as the update schedule goes.
Yeah, I kind of had mixed emotions when they're talking about how many people were working on Clash now, because on one hand, I'm like, good, that's more capabilities to change things, especially stuff that gets a high amount of community feedback, right? Things that originate from the player base or just from people who are enthusiasts about the game in general. But on the other side of that, when there is like that long period of time when you don't get anything new for the main part of the game, and they've got all of these people working on the game, it kind of makes you feel like, what the hell are they doing? Like, I get it. They spent a lot of time wanting to redo Builder Base. They spent a lot of time before that trying to build and create Clan Capital, but neither of those things, even in their wildest ambitions, were ever going to be the main part of the game. Like, they just weren't. Even if Clan Capital like outsold their expectations, it was never going to overtake the main village as what people were playing the game for. And to just, I don't know, it feels like, honestly, outside of when they did the update for Town Hall 15 last year, it feels like when they do updates for the main village, it's kind of like, oh yeah, we're doing something for the main village because we have to. But our real creative ideas and passion is in Clan Capital and Builder Base, and that's just not what the players want. Even the summer update they got for Town Hall 15, they did it a month after the Builder Base, right? So the timing for it was weird. We appreciate didn't have to wait for it, but it was weird. But also, it felt like what they gave us then was it kind of felt like, all right, well, you guys are complaining about it, so here's some stuff, right? Here's some stuff. Stop bitching. We're going to give you some more offense. Be better at the game. It doesn't feel like, for all that big team, it hasn't felt like the developers and everyone are really into main content village as much as the community wants them to be.
Well, I don't know. Like I don't think that's like a wrong take necessarily, but I don't we don't know how long anyone's been working there. There's going to be a significant lead time and all this stuff too. Like that newer, larger team is also what brought us the Halloween event that everyone just loved and said was damn near perfect too. So like I don't know what else is coming down the pipeline from that larger team, and I don't know how much of what has fallen flat in the past was just due to a smaller team maybe being stretched too thin. I mean, we can guess, but it's still, I don't know. I think we got to give it more time just to see what a larger team working on multiple things at the same time is really gonna do for the game. So far, the Halloween Super Miners in the capital was awesome. The Halloween event was fantastic. I know a little bit of what's coming now, and I'm optimistic for it. So I don't know. Time. I guess all I can really say is time. Time will tell if it's going to be a good cultural change for their work output.
And maybe what they did with Halloween will help them see kind of the blueprint. Is not keeping the main village fresh and the majority of players interested. Does not have to be updating new levels, new stuff. It can just be other stuff like an event, right? That gives some energy into it, breaks up the monotonous cycle of the game, especially for people who are already done progressing their base or different whatever milestone they wanted to be at. People who just have to find enjoyment in the game, not from progression, but from playing the game. That's where I feel like up until the Halloween event, it didn't feel like the Clash team and what they were talking about and their vision was as concerned with that as just put a muzzle on some of the critics, right? And I don't get why. I understand they needed to redo Builder Base. I understand that they wanted Clan Capital. I'm not saying that either one of those has been bad for the game, but they overtook their creative currency to work on those, and that's not what the majority of the player base wants.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like they're nice gap fillers too, because I know, like you gotta imagine if there was always a constant flow of new content for the home village, at some point you're just gonna get exhausted with it. Like
Mhm.
it's nice to have an update gap where you can catch your breath and just be max and give people who aren't max 15s a chance, a chance to make progress catching up. And yeah, it's gonna sacrifice some of our enjoyment as max players, but it's probably something that's more needed throughout the game as a whole for people of all levels. And having little breaks is nice. I think they probably wished Builder Base was a little more entertaining and filled that gap better. Capital, I think, does a better job,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like, there's a lot to manage, and it's not always going to be just dumping more stuff into the game. Hopefully, we get some good quality of life stuff coming down the pipe too.
Yeah, that's so. Some of the other questions I got just around the gameplay um, is really taken back to, I guess, your opinion on some of the ideas that we've kicked around on our podcast previously. But one of them, we did an episode towards the end of season one of our podcast. We're currently in season two now. Um, but towards the end, we did a kind of clash of or state of the Clash Union address. And we just talked about everything over the last couple of years that's gone on, where we're at. It took the idea or the opinions from different kind of areas of the community to figure out, all right, what are the things most important to helping the game right now. And believe it or not, when we did that, we went through all that, we didn't come up with a whole bunch of gameplay stuff. Really, what we settled on, like the biggest one, was you got to fix the communication part in it. You got to find a way to make this community oriented game function more communally inside the game. You got to do something to revamp the chat that they haven't done. And I've now heard Darian talk about how, oh yeah, we realized that we haven't updated the in-game chat features since 2012. But I think I've heard him say that for about a year and a half now. And I get it. Like they want to do it the right way, and there's a lot of other things that they're funneling into, but the fact that they haven't touched that in so long and just haven't addressed it, that they've sent out the survey for it. I'm hoping that's the majority of the next quality of life updates is around that. But I gotta be honest, if we get to the next update and like, oh, there's some quality of life changes and it doesn't have anything to do with that yet, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of us sitting out here wondering, like, why? Why is communicating in game or finding a way to do that so difficult when that's what every other platform we're using, Discord, whether it's text messages or it's Group Me or it's Line or whatever it is a platform that is made to help communication better. And there's so many examples of it out there. And 11 plus years and they can't even touch it in Clash. And now, even when they've been talking about it for a year and a half, they still can't touch it. Like, that stuff's that's got to be like next on their list, right?
I don't know. I mean, like, what's the return on that investment, though? Really, like, if like they're not like just set your expectations too, because they're not going to replace Discord. It's not going to replace
Yeah.
any external communication tool that you have for your clan. Like it's not feasible to cram that into the in-game chat. So you got to say like, cool, like with it being an impossible task to bring all of that communication back to the game, like where's the real value in investing a ton of time and energy into fixing the chat? There's probably little things they can do to improve it and make it
Mhm.
easier, and so you don't have to switch out of game into a different app as much, would probably be like the most we should really expect.
No,
And
and
that's not based on me knowing anything either. I haven't heard anything about this chat
I'm
stuff
not expecting
like
to find.
since that survey.
Yeah, I'm not expecting them to find a way to replace or Discord. What I'm looking for is something that helps the majority of clans out there who just exist in the game, who don't cycle over to another app for anything. They don't really always watch YouTube videos, right? Even though there's a tab for it, they don't click over there and watch it. They exist in the clan either because their buddies at work play it, or because their family plays it, or because it's just something they do to pass time. But while they're there and while they're trying to, play the game, they're like, man, it sucks that like if I try to type a message in here, like if I'm a co-leader and I try to send a clan mail to my teammates to say, hey, let's try not sucking and during this war. Let's try doing something that's actually going to work. Maybe win every once in a while. And figure out at the very end that I messed up a word at the very beginning of it. I got to delete the whole goddamn thing and go back in and retype it. Like, that's what I want them to fix. I want there to be
Yeah,
something for the
yeah.
guys that are never going to get to Discord to to be more efficient in playing the game or in communicating with each other at least.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things they could do and they need to do.
Yeah.
Like being able to copy and paste a Discord link in there, obviously is huge. But like to the people that you were just saying who don't know there are better tools out there. Like I don't how much is it really worth to go after them too? Is if you were a player who wants more social interaction with members of your clan and you're not getting it in the clan chat,
Mhm.
if you really want it, you're probably just gonna go find a new clan, and that new clan is gonna have a Discord that you're gonna join, and you're gonna be able to get that somewhere else too. I don't know that that's a problem that the Clash developers really need to chase down and fix.
Yeah, I still don't think though. I still don't think that's the majority of the player base though. I still don't think the majority of people that have the game downloaded, and quite frankly, the majority of the players that play every day, are ones who seek out Discord or clan that has Discord, or even know how to use Discord. Quite frankly, I remember my first time on Discord, I was lost. Like it
Oh yeah.
takes a while to figure out. I still don't know how to find certain servers, right? But as far as who's downloading the game and playing, or more importantly, who out there has an iPhone, has the game downloaded, and could tap a button and buy a gym pack or something in the shop that actually makes Supercell money. How do you reach that person? Which is, I do think that's the majority of the players on there. They're not on Discord. They're not searching out another way to communicate with their clan. If it's in the game, and if they can't read it in their clan chat or in their clan mail, then they don't know what's happening in their clan. So I
Yeah,
do
there's
I do
Yeah.
think it'd be incredibly worth it for Supercell to do something to make it easier for those people, because I don't think most people are downloading the game thinking, oh, I need to download the second app or the third app to really know how to use the first one. I don't think people think like that.
no. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fine point. Just I don't know. I would be surprised if the majority of Clash players worldwide are also in a Discord server. It really seems like we're the dedicated minority who takes it way too
Mhm.
seriously.
Yeah, but not
True.
So
but
I
not
don't know.
serious enough to learn a really strategic attack. Okay, we got to draw the line
Yeah, no,
somewhere,
dude. There's a reason why like you match a random garbage clan and you're gonna get hit with e-drags.
Right.
or just regular drags. I mean, e-drags are for real scrubs. Okay, come on.
Um, so one of the other topics we had is as the game progresses, like right now we're at tunnel 15, right? Then we're going to 16 soon. Would it would it be okay, or do you think it'd be in a good idea for Supercell, like, hey, here's like a Town Hall 13 you can buy for like $200.
So, like, man, I'm glad I'm glad you guys brought this up too, because like the thing that I've heard y'all talk about on Clashuals that has got me like fired up and wanting to talk about the most
Mhm.
has been a legitimate way to buy accounts.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've been trying, like, I've wanted to bring it back up on Reddit Talks Clash for a while, but I've wanted to like do the research on one aspect of it first too. So I know, like, when I've brought it up in the past, and when you guys have brought it up too, the concept is essentially, let me buy a mostly progressed base for a certain amount of money. Like,
Yeah.
like, just you'll get, yeah, let's, like you just said, a Town Hall 13, like, cool. Like, let me buy a max Town Hall 12, brand new Town Hall 13, right? To start playing and buy into it for however much money.
Yeah.
So the challenges with that are, uh, Clash is in the business of selling you progression,
True.
right? So that's like, like everything they sell you, almost everything outside of cosmetics, but everything else they sell you that's not a cosmetic is to help you progress. It's the gold pass, it's magic items, in gems. Like that's where they're making their money, and it's all to help you progress faster. So they are foregoing a lot of potential sales to sell you immediate progression. And like, if you buy in at 13, yeah, there's still 14 and 15, and next year, whenever 16 that's coming, you might be willing to spend a lot more to continue progressing. But I don't know, it's replacing a different way of spending on progression too. So it's still selling you the kind of the same product. So maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't. But the comparison I've made in the past, and the comparison I've heard other
Mhm.
people in the past too, is that in World of Warcraft you can do that, right? You can buy a leveled up account.
Yeah.
To like, I've never played Warcraft, so if I get any of this wrong, then sorry. I don't know if you guys play, and you can correct me. I've been trying to find someone who does play Warcraft just so I can bounce these ideas off of them.
Ask Eric.
Or yeah, or like any other game that will sell you an account like that. Warcraft's the only one that I know of. But
I think it'd be a good idea
anyway,
for Supercell to do it.
yeah.
Like, maybe
So
not buy an account, but just be able to instantly be like a 13 or maybe like a 14. Just it's gonna be a lot of money, but I think it'd be worth it to have those new players that can kind of get more content instead of just sitting at the lower town hall slowly progressing. You instantly become this.
yeah,
You still
Well,
have to
and I
progress,
think too,
learn.
you got to consider who is the target audience to make that type of purchase, right? And it's really it's two people. It's one, it's the ones who already have multiple accounts and want to do it as a project for another one, who are already spending money on the game, right? So you
Yeah.
don't run the risk of like, oh, we're gonna lose out on other progression purchases with this person. Like we're already in. I'm already spending way too much money on it, right?
Mhm.
Or two, the person who has just newly came to the game, but they want to get to a certain level to either fit into a clan or to a system or with their buddies at work, something like that. And the idea of starting from scratch in that time frame to get up to 12 or 13, whatever it is too much. And the alternative to that person is, I'm just not going to play at all. In which case they're
Yeah.
spending $0. There's no risk to Supercell. Like, let's say that the threshold is it's a completely maxed Town Hall 12 and it's $200 to get there. And that person who downloads the game is like, oh man, this is cool. I really want to play. And all of his buddies are like, oh man, you're going to have to do all this stuff. And we're all up here at 13 and 14. And he's like, oh shit, I can't really play with those guys I want to. I could spend $200 and get right there with them and be a member of their clan and be right alongside them. I can learn and catch up. Versus if they don't, then they're spending $0. But if that person does spend $200 and then a month later loses interest, like, you know what, those guys I was playing with, they're kind of assholes anyway. I don't really want to play with them. You already spent $200 on it
Yeah.
when they weren't going to spend any. And I think those are the two people that would make that purchase, right? That's what you've
Mhm.
got. Either way, Supercell is going to be making money off those sales that otherwise that are not existing, right?
Yeah.
like, buying a legitimate progressed account would be risk free, which would be the big benefit too, because you're not participating in a black market. There's
Yeah.
no risk that you're going to get
Yeah.
banned and lose it that way. There's no risk of the original owner being able to claim it back. You're not supporting people who steal accounts, which is a moral problem for some people. like there are benefits to it that way. It's, I think B said, yeah, it's more likely, realistically to me, person more likely to do it is going to be someone buying a second account.
Mm-hmm.
Just, like I would imagine Supercell would prefer new players start low and like learn the game as you go, because the game is pretty well paced to grow with you as you unlock new stuff and learn new concepts and go, and it also like introduces you pretty early on to the concept of spending money. They give you that 5,000 gem $3 offer early on. You have to spend gems to buy builders. You have to, so you're immediately trained that spending gems is okay. Just it conditions you to be able to spend money later. So I'm sure they would prefer that. And just the amount of gold pass and magic items they're foregoing to sell you a developed account, they'd have to price it probably way too high from what people would want to spend compared to buying a black market account. Like, I haven't looked at prices of accounts in forever, but I'd be completely shocked if somebody spent $200 on a Town Hall 12, Town Hall 13 right now.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
so I stopped following there's a subreddit for buying and selling Clash of Clans accounts, and I used to look at it just for the lulz, and then I felt like, man, I really don't want to get roped in with some of these guys, because every fifth post on there is like, don't buy from this guy, he's a scammer. Don't buy from this guy, he's dirty. And I was like, I gotta leave it. But even I guess the last time I looked at that was probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. You could get a maxed Town Hall 13 in there for like $50, $60. And that was when Town Hall 14 was the max.
Yeah, I'm just scanning around, looking at we're the price you quoted would be too high for a max 15. As of right now, it looks like it going off of this site. I don't know if this is a good place or if it's full of scams or whatever or not. Like the only safe way is to not do it. FYI, PSA disclaimer, whatever.
But that's also why,
personally,
buying it the safe way through the game, it should cost more, but it's secure, right?
Yeah.
It should cost more. And honestly, if Supercell were to do it, the black market shouldn't help set their economy for it whatsoever, right?
Mm-hmm.
They should look at what's the cost benefit of losing, 2 years worth of in-game purchases to let someone start off at a higher Town Hall level. But at the same time, like I said earlier, you might not have a ton of people lining up to spend $200 to buy a Town Hall 12. But everyone that you sold is likely someone who is not spending that $200 in micro purchases anyway.
Yeah. So I know. But just on a more general idea too, I think the comparison to Warcraft accounts where you can buy a level 90 or whatever account, legit through whatever Blizzard, whatever the company is, right? I don't even know, but what they're selling you isn't really progression. Like, you have to grind out those levels of your player anyway. But what they're selling you is going to be expansion packs and DLC and stuff down the road too, that you're going to be more incentivized to buy if you already have a high level character who's capable of enjoying that future content that you're going to have to buy. So I think it's just a different monetization, concept for a game like that, where it makes more sense to be able to sell a leveled up account. It's probably never going to come to Clash.
I get that
I would do it.
The progression scale for Warcraft might be different. I think what tips it for me, and I think part of the reason why Supercell at least needs to consider looking at it again, is because as you keep adding content to the end game, that starting player gets further and further away from that. And the majority of players go into a game thinking, all right, how am I going to get to the end of it, right? And 4 years ago, when getting to the end of the game was, 18 months or 2 years, it was a different thought. Now, like I said earlier, free to play from beginning to end, you're thinking, oh my gosh, 3 years worth of just grinding, worth of constantly playing just to get up to max level. And oh, by the way, during those 3 years, the bar of where you're trying to get to keeps getting set further too. There's too much late game content now for new users to constantly feel like they're ever going to get there without something like this to help. And if their stance on it was formulated 3, 4, 5 years ago, they might not necessarily felt that way. But again, the bar to getting to the end was at a different spot. And they can have all of the cost and time reductions for the lower levels if they want. It's still pushing that endpoint even further and further back.
Yeah.
Because the newest stuff has the longest upgrade times we've ever had. Every time there's a new town hall, the next upgrade time is longer than the longest one at the previous one.
I don't think that's true as of Town Hall 15. I think the longest 15 upgrade matches what the longest 14 upgrade was. But that was new with 15, I believe.
Are you sure?
But the other thing too is like they've said a few times over the years that like they want to keep the time from start to max roughly the same where it is now. So that's part of the math when they shorten the upgrade times and costs for a lot of lower town halls. Is it, obviously they're adding, a big chunk of time at the end for the final town hall, but they're shortening everything else too. But I don't know how much more they can realistically do that, because at a certain point too, like you can't just have town halls 1 through 10 take you 2 weeks, because it's meaningless, quick random progression too, and then you're hitting a massive wall still, that because it just becomes a much larger problem too. Like people now get really used to quick, fast upgrade times, town halls 1 through 10, and they get to 11 and 12, and that's where a lot of players drop off. And I think in large part because attacks become more complicated, and the lower town halls are way too easy, so you don't ever have to really try to succeed as long as you stay upgraded. And upgrade times really start to stretch out then. And like you're thinking, hey, cool, I am 2/3 of the way through the game if you're Town Hall 10 out of 15. And that took me 3 months, and now I'm looking at 3 years to finish the rest of it. That's like the curve on that's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, idea.
So
I just had an idea.
Let's go.
Just popped in my head. It's like one of the few thoughts I've had today. What if they just cut out Town Halls 1 through 5, and the starting point of the game was Town Hall 6, and the levels that you went to upgrade all of your stuff at Town Hall 6 was just where you started off at. That's every new building you built. Instead of having a level 1 cannon, it was a level 6 cannon or whatever's at Town Hall 6. And that's just where you started. And you could learn all the basics at Town Hall 6 where you get the king hero. I get there's probably some Town Hall 2 enthusiasts out there, maybe all together in a clan titled Damn Shun. But, I mean, what if Supercell just did away with them?
Yeah, and so
I don't know,
instead of
like,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh.
No, so like, okay, what I'll say is, I mean, there is value to, I said it before, where the game introduces concepts to you at a really good pace. I've been through new town halls 15, 16 times now. So introducing, barbs and archers, the first 2 troops, like there's your tank and there's your damage. And then you get giants and wall breakers, and all these concepts are introduced to you at a certain pace. It's a faster pace now than it used to be, but it's still an ordered pace. So just skipping it all and dumping, compare Town Hall 2 to 6 is a massive leap. It's easy for us to look backwards and say Town Hall 6 is nothing because who cares, but it is jumping a lot of conceptual steps along the way that are just going to make it probably more frustrating for newer players.
True.
I don't think so.
Speaking with just trying to get new people into the game, I think it'd be cool if they had that implanted. So like someone's like, "Oh, I watched this YouTube video of a dude doing a Town Hall 12 attacks. Oh, now I have to grind out this account. But if he could buy a full, like almost max 12 for $200, he might do it." Just saying.
Yeah,
For the new people, to
like
bring more attention to the game. For the new
I don't
people.
know what the solution is, but if it's not a problem soon, it will be at some point.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we're going to get through all these other questions. I did want to ask if you had an opinion. So we said a long time ago, we had an idea about something in game, maybe like the same tab where you can go in and find content in the game, and it'll show you some YouTube videos that have been posted specifically about Clash. Having the same tab that's just like, oh, and these are the people that are streaming it live on Twitch right now. I guess to help out, the poor guys trying to stream Twitch out here because there's not a lot of Clash that translates over to Twitch. But two, kind of as a live help guide, like if you've got questions, I mean, hopping in a Twitch chat while someone's live streaming is usually a really good place to find it. Granted, not everyone out there is super competent at answering that, but it's at least some place to go to try to get something. Why do you think Supercell doesn't consider that?
If they did do that, it would have to still be creators. Only Adams, I love you, man. Like you would never
No,
be
I
in
know.
the
I,
game with
I
your
know.
Twitch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know that.
Why?
Obviously.
Why not?
Yeah,
Come on.
because I gotta assume Supercell doesn't want little Timmy opening up his community Twitch stream tab in game and watching Adams,
Get drunk.
have a stream labeled as Clash of Clans, but he's watching Dual Survival and drinking beer and yelling at people and shaving his nipples.
Hey, I've
He
never.
never did that. He's not allowed to shave for 5 years, actually,
Yeah.
Rick.
$10.
Is your Joe Dirt facial hair right now? Is that like just how it grows in naturally?
Yes, I guess comes in patchy. Okay, this is how it comes in, and it's gonna be. Is
It
I
just
can't
grows in
shave
all
for
white
5
trash like
years.
that?
Yep.
It's
But,
gotten a lot more fun to draw on Gartic Phone, Rick.
True.
Yeah.
You've missed out.
Yeah, you guys are playing Gartic without me? What the hell?
Listen,
Oh.
no. So before you get mad, I told them last night. I go, it would be really fun as if we didn't play it in this particular server.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
Let's go play it somewhere else where everyone else can enjoy it too. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought that up, so I can ring because I don't know if Adams even remembers having that conversation because
I do. I remember. I was
he was in his Gartic Phone mode last night.
Hey, TJ came in with his webcam. He was drunk, so I had to catch up with him.
TJ was also in Gartic Phone mode.
Yeah. See, that was fun. That was. Oh, we'll do it again in the other server.
I'm hurt, dude. I'm hurt. It's too late now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Told you, Adams. I told you.
Blame me.
You're gonna have hurt feelings by doing this. Sorry, we'll start doing like a standard Gardaphone night in our newly created Clashuals Discord server, which I think is also up to like 18 or 19 people in total.
Yeah.
So,
So
we've got that going for us as well, which is
true.
Which is nice.
What
I do want to talk about.
Was Liam in Gartic?
No. Wait, no.
That's the right answer.
He did jump in for just a second last night. I don't think he played around, but he jumped in for a second. We asked him to play, and he was like, "Oh no, I can't." And then he
says,
he does that weird thing where he just, like he talks, or he shows up like he wants to talk, and then he doesn't always really talk a whole lot, and then he's gone. And then sometimes even after he's gone, he's mad at you about him leaving. Sometimes Liam's like that.
It's just Liam.
He's a weird guy.
Well, you had another thing for him, Adams, on the game?
I was gonna say on the game. I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Or anything then. Just
I know you said we can't go through all the questions, but I do want to hit up. I think the last one in your topics.
Why is he so anti skins and sceneries?
No, I'm talking about not the game, but going to Worlds.
Yeah, we haven't even got to that yet.
Yeah, I'm just making sure we hit that. That's all.
That's like the best part. We're saving it for last.
Yeah.
This is called, a teaser, right? We talked about Worlds coming up at the very beginning. Everyone's waiting for Rick to talk about it. We're pushing it to the end, so they got to listen to the other 2 hours of this.
I just had the game question. So, now you've played the game since the beginning, probably. How far do you see town halls going? Like, do you see them going like 20, 30?
I don't know, man. Like
now
they're like like Darian told Judo, they got plans for 16, 17, 18, whatever coming. Like he gave his little marketing answer where he said, like, hey, we're gonna go as long as
We're
we
working on
can
it.
forever. So, like, realistically, like, obviously you can't go on forever, right? Like it's gone a lot longer than I thought was possible for sure. But I mean, I can see. I'd be surprised if it didn't make it to 18, at least from here.
I think, personally, me, I think, even with the players we have, and like we have, or Supercell has on Clash of Clans, I think it can go as long as people are buying packs and spending money. They can go on forever. I think
I do
because they're
think
going to be interesting games.
I think the only correct answer to that question has already been given once before, and it was in the movie Talladega Nights, where Ricky Bobby gets told, "You're not going to live forever," and he was like, "Lucius, I know that, but with modern science, it's not too out of the realm to think I could live to 170 or 180." So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of what Clash has to be thinking. I mean, how many more town halls? How much bigger can we make the map? Like, we know it's not going to last forever, but I mean, realistically, with modern science, I mean, we can get town hall 412 in before we're done. So
Or when we hit Town Hall 412, people are going back to this episode and
swear
watch
to God,
it.
I hope we're long gone by town hall 412.
I mean, probably that's a long ass fucking
Podcasts
list.
are not even going to be a thing by the time that
No, it's
happens.
gonna be like virtual VR talk or some shit.
All right, so Rick, you got the long journey to the suspected unknown land of Finland coming up
Doesn't
this
exist.
week. Just tell us what's your travel schedule for this week. How long is it? How long is that flight gonna take you from
So,
I need to
from the
check.
West Coast?
dude, I had such a good flight plan. I was gonna head to Seattle. From Seattle, I was gonna go to Iceland, and then Iceland to Finland. It's nice and broken up. It was like my longest flight was only 7 hours, and there's some stupid ass volcano in Iceland right now that's right next to the airport.
Poor
So
decision making.
Supercell didn't want anyone to get randomly stuck in a volcano explosion and stranded in Iceland, so they changed all our flights. So now I have to go like
New York.
Seattle, Denver, Germany, Helsinki, and it's going to take me like 9 hours longer on a plane.
Wait.
And I know some my flights suck, but I know it's like it's hard to complain about a free vacation, but I'll find a way.
So you're flying from Seattle to Denver and then straight from Denver to Germany?
Yeah, I go to
Damn.
Frankfurt, Germany, and then to Helsinki.
Jeez. How long is that leg from Denver to Frankfurt?
That is about 10 hours, I think. Last I looked.
Do you at least get like one of those big, comfy like seats?
You first class? You doing
No,
first
no,
class?
dude. I'm flying straight up economy. Like
Oh, fuck
if
that.
yeah, anyone who wants to upgrade had the option of paying for it themselves. But no, I'm flying. I was able to. It's operated by the German airline. I think it's Lufthansa, right? So
Lufthansa.
I was able to. I was given the privilege of paying Lufthansa $60 to be able to choose my seat ahead of time. At least I'm not stuck in like a middle seat in the middle aisle, whatever.
Got a window seat, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I think I chose a window on that one. Like I always forget if I like window or aisle more, so I went window one and aisle the
I
way
would choose
back.
the aisle just so you know if you have to take a piss, you don't have to walk over people.
Listen,
Yeah, man, it
I
looked like a
have
full.
I have flown plenty of times in the last 10, 12 years. I have never used the restroom on a plane
Oh, I have, dude.
ever in my
There's
life.
one time I had the shits, man, and I was at the window seat, and I was like,
Jesus Christ.
"Shit." I had to walk over him, and I had to dude, and there was turbulence, so I had to, like, hold on to, like, brace myself, so if there's turbulence, I didn't bounce off the seat. It was fucking so bad.
Do you see? It was in the news like a month or two ago where somebody had like diarrhea up the aisle of a plane, and they had to
Explosive
like turn
diarrhea.
they had to turn the plane around because it was just like
You
poop everywhere, and they said it's like a biohazard and stunk up the whole flight, and they had to like it was I think it was like a big long transoceanic flight. They had to turn around.
Yeah. They were only
I'd
like
be laughing.
45 minutes into it, but it was like there's a video online and like there's this trail going down the aisle and you can tell like where they've put like paper towels and stuff to try to mess it up and they're all just like soaked brown in the middle. Like whoever had the problem, like it wasn't just something dropped out. Like no, it followed them all the way up to the front. It was
Yeah,
So
they
that's a
had.
good time for me to download that clip and put it in this part.
and
That's
now
fucking
that's not to be
hilarious.
confused with that motherfucker back there is not real. That's a different
I'll
clip.
tell you.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
By the way, she lives in North
Sorry about
Texas. Did you know that? Not
You
far
can go
from
meet
where I
her.
do.
That's fine. Go meet her.
Maybe.
Anyway,
Go look her up. But
back to your journey.
so
100% exists.
yeah, so I leave Tuesday. Today's Sunday, so I leave like
Mhm.
Tuesday afternoon, fly overnight, and I'll get there like 5 o'clock at night again. So I'll be like including time zones, like 30 hours of travel, but with the time zone, I don't know, it's probably closer to under a day, but
So do you
still a
sleep on the
long
plane?
ass day. I'm gonna try and not sleep on the way
Okay.
over, just so I can like get there. The first night, it's the same schedule as last year. The first night will be like a meet and greet kind of dinner,
Uh-huh.
in the hotel, and then that's get in on Wednesday local time, and then Thursday we go over to the Supercell headquarters building, and get a little tour presentation, meet everyone there, and I think there's another dinner, and that'll be technically American Thanksgiving. So I don't know if they're gonna do like a cool dinner for that, because I don't
Probably
think like I don't know how many American employees they have, but a lot of their guests will be American, so maybe they'll give us some turkey. I
Or
don't
maybe.
know. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday are the finals, and they have little like activities for us to do during the Clash Royale finals that we could sign up for. I'm gonna do. Me and Spencer are gonna go make pottery together, and then we're gonna
Oh, do
take
you be
a
like
and
Ghost?
then
Those are the activities. You
You be
guys are
like
gonna go
Ghost?
well,
full
no, it was
ghost.
like
Yeah.
the choice was like it was choices of a bunch of stuff. There was like
Oh
go to a sauna.
my.
Last year I don't remember the other stuff. Last year they had like
Sauna.
skimboarding or like indoor surfing and a tour, and I did an escape room last year with one of the Clash Royale dudes, and I don't know,
How'd
yeah,
that
but
go?
yeah, it was cool. Escape rooms are fun, man. It was cool.
Homie, just break through the wall, then you're done.
Oh my
A
God.
bunch of drywall just
There's this Twitter page I follow it's called Out of Context. And it just posts random videos. I saw this video on there of this guy, and the caption says, some random guy has been coming and chaining and locking the front door of the local escape room, and then he inserts clues to how to unlock the chain so the people can get back out. And it's this video of this guy. He walks up to the door. It's like glass doors, but there's bars, and he cracks them open, gets the lock on the inside, but then he's got this chain, so he's wrapping it around it. And this lady comes running up to try to open the door before he gets it, but he locks it real quick, and then he slides this piece of paper in between the doors to her, and that's the clues for her to unlock. So he's locking
awesome.
in the people at the escape room. It's pretty funny.
Oh, that's
It's pretty
funny.
good.
Okay.
Who is there anyone traveling with you that you know of, or are you
Oh
just gonna
yeah.
wait and see who's on the flight with you to Frankfurt?
So I did see a list of so there's a list of which which bus we're taking from the airport to the hotel, or like
Uh-huh.
which transportation group we're in, and there were a few names of people I recognize, but I haven't seen like an updated one since my flight changed.
Oh,
Oh,
since you
So
okay.
got diverted around the volcano.
yeah, so I don't really know who I'm going to be on a plane or on a bus with, but I met a lot of people last year that I know are going again, and I get to meet Spencer. Spencer's going, so I get to meet him face to face, which would be cool.
Hell
Clash
yeah.
Ninja's going again, so I met him last year. He'll be there. A bunch of other people.
Uh,
Is there anyone else that you're maybe someone who you didn't get to meet last year? Maybe they didn't go, or maybe you just didn't get a chance to really meet him or talk to him. Is there anyone that you're hoping to meet this year in Helsinki that you didn't last year?
No. I think I met a ton of people last year. Um, I was hoping Trample went, but he got invited and declined because it's on Thanksgiving. And
who
he
did it?
he cares about his family, unlike me, I guess.
Fuck yeah,
But
bro. Fuck it.
yeah. So
You know,
like
we
I don't
actually
know,
have a
like
sound clip about that in our Clashuals Discord server. Did you
Jump
know
over
that
in right
on
now.
our soundboard? Let me
but
find it.
You can play it. I can't because I'm recording.
Oh yeah, let me find it. Let's see.
While he's
Here, hold on.
trying
I
to find
got it. Yeah,
Lame.
that's from the Pod Wars. Anyway,
Yeah, I know it's kind of funny. Like last year, I was really excited to go and meet everyone, and I had all these big plans. I brought my podcasting stuff, and I was gonna be that that dork
that guy.
who you know, shoves a microphone in someone's face and was like, "Please talk to me." But then I got there, and I walked around, and it was hanging out in this big room with 300 people, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not an extrovert. this is
Oh,
like this is not me." So then I just kind of
same
like
boat, bro.
hung out with the people I did know, occasionally met, and like I would go and talk to people or sit at different tables
Mhm.
and chat over meals, but I didn't make a whole lot of lifelong friends over there. Just because like it's funny because we're just still coming out of like lockdowns and stuff last year, and COVID was still
Yeah.
a big thing. So it was like I had a chance to like really forget that I'm not a giant and I'm not really a big outgoing guy.
I
But
have two
this year I'm
questions.
coming in with much more realistic expectations. Like plus I met a lot of people last year anyway, so it
but
should be
Three
this year you're gonna have your wingman Spencer with you too. And so
Yeah.
after you get that first initial like, I can't believe you actually look like that moment, then you guys will get to be buddy buddy and you get to play off each other. I want you guys to do a bit, okay? When you pull out the podcast equipment and start recording, I want you to just pretend like podcasting is what got you to the world's finals. That's what got you invited into the creator program. Had nothing to do with Reddit, nothing to do with being moderators. I want you to make everyone to believe, like, no, this Clash podcast is actually a pretty big thing. Obviously, we've got thousands of followers. That's why they invited us to this event. Clash podcasts. I don't know where you guys have been, but there's a huge community for podcasts. Everyone listens to them. That's got to be what you and Spencers go with next week. Because, oh, by the way, that's going to help all the rest of us out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just tell people we're basically the judo sloth of podcasts.
Exactly.
There
Yes.
you go.
Just like
Yes.
we're the biggest. We're the most everything probably. I don't even know, but
Yeah.
So,
you think there's a lot of people on YouTube? There's
definitely,
even more on Spotify, guys. Okay, podcasts are where it's at.
I will introduce myself to judo that way too. Like, hey, we've talked. I'm basically the you of podcasting.
Oh, hi. You just mispronounce his name. So, like, it's just power play him. Like, you have no idea. It was like, oh, hi, Jado. Oh, judo. I'm sorry. I don't really like YouTube. Like, that's so 2012. I don't even get on YouTube. Have you? Judo sleuth. Sleuth.
I got 3 questions. So, Supercell pays for all, like, your flight and all the hotel and all that shit? Rick? Paging Rick?
Yes.
Okay.
Did I disconnect?
Momentarily,
No,
I think so.
Just a little bit.
I don't know. I
So
think you might have been
everything.
thinking the same thing I did when you asked that. Like, yes, Adams.
I'm just making sure.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Second question is, you're going by yourself, right? You don't got your wife or anything?
No,
Flying
like
solo?
we talked about last year. We talked about it this year too. We're like, hey, like like we can, like pay your way along,
Mhm.
and if you want to come, but like I'm gonna be really busy. I think they have a full schedule that they would prefer I participate in since they're paying for it.
Yeah.
So you would basically be alone for 5 days in Helsinki if you want to see it. And we said, nah, not last year. And we also took a big trip together this year too already. So
Yeah, you told me that.
she's
Yeah,
gonna man the fort down here with the kid while I'm gone again.
My
So on
wife,
top, is she
my wife would hate a Clash World Finals live so much. She would just be like,
is
"What
she
the hell is this?"
so what the fuck? You're really spinning up. Is she mad that it's during Thanksgiving that you're missing that, or understand?
No. She's not mad. She's real cool about it. She's not like excited that it was Thanksgiving, but
Yeah.
we had our own little Thanksgiving yesterday. We had a bunch of friends over and did the turkey and the whole meal and everything. So we've handled Thanksgiving, and then they're gonna just go to their friends and family on the real day. But we already
Alright.
had our family version.
Nice. Alright, third question, is there booze?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Like I was shocked. Like I was kind of shocked at how drunk I was able to get at the open bar during like Sunday night after the finals. Last year they kind of kept us separated from the players and casters. I think was largely about COVID. But
Yeah.
after the finals, when no one cared, we all went back to
Wait,
headquarters.
isn't
On
that
their
actually
massive.
when some people got COVID?
I got COVID. I don't know if it was at the party on the plane back. I got freaking COVID on the way back last year. But yeah, they had an open bar and they had like mixed drinks you could order. They had just huge cooler buckets of beer and some cider that I don't remember what it was, but
Ooh.
yeah, I
Ooh.
got probably too drunk there last year.
This thing is too drunk. Come
And
on.
yeah, like Clash Ninja was cool enough to walk back with me and talk me out of
Oh,
like getting swindled by some scammer outside our hotel. He was like, he's like, "What do you guys do?" And then Ninja was telling him about. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a web dev. I have a website." And the guy's like, "I got some awesome business ideas. I would love to pitch you." And then Ninja was trying to like exit that conversation, but I was hammered enough to be like, "No, dude, tell me about it, dude. Like, yeah, like give me your email, dude. I want to hear all about your business ideas." And Ninja was trying to steer clear of it all.
so the reason I asked if there's free booze, because I was talking to Carbon when we did that long mafia thing on Halloween. I was like, I might go next year. He's like, it's expensive. Like, bro, I just got a job. I can save up for a year, get my passport, I'm gonna get a fucking first class ticket because fuck that bullshit, and I'm gonna fucking get drunk as fuck.
I'm gonna be honest. If it wasn't on Thanksgiving this year, I might have considered asking my wife if can I just go.
Homie, I would have just left my family like deuces. Where you going?
Well, I gotta have something to
Don't worry
come
about it.
back
Yeah,
to, Adams. You know,
I'm not
and
married, so I don't give a fuck
yeah,
about my family,
I like
and they
responsibilities
know
and
this.
blah blah blah.
Like during this Thanksgiving, I'm gonna stay in my room, drink booze, and we'll watch the fucking 2 a.m. World Champs on Thursday.
Do you think, Rick? Do you
Yeah.
think like? I know that they like having it at their headquarters. They like it being like a big event because it's not just. We've talked about this before on this podcast. That it's not just the World Finals. It's the culmination of their competitive year. They like having the meetings. They like having everyone out there. They do that in Helsinki, where their headquarters is. Do you think there's ever a chance that they host that somewhere other than where their headquarters is?
I mean, the Brawl Stars finals are this week too.
Sweet.
They're going at the same time. They're just somewhere else. I don't remember. Maybe Paris. I don't remember. I don't pay attention to Brawl Stars, but
Luxie said
in
Sweden.
theory, yeah. Okay, yeah, maybe that's it. Like in theory, they could be somewhere else. They did 2 years ago. The finals were in LA, but there was no live audience or anything. So like I remember when they announced the dates for this year, because last year was September, and now and pretty early on this year they said it's gonna be November, and here's the general schedule. I was like, cool. That means it's not Finland because there's no way they would bring us all Finland in the end of November when it's gonna be below freezing and snowy and rainy. But sure as hell enough, like
And here we are.
we got. Like there's guys who are coming from like tropical places in India and stuff, and they're like, I literally don't own a jacket. Like, what do I need to bring to Finland this time for to be here? Like, am I going to die?
Am I
You
going
might.
to?
Yeah, like that
Yeah,
Clash
You might
Champs
freeze
team
to
is
death.
predominantly Brazilian. So they're like, what?
we're gonna freeze.
Are flip flops okay up there this time of year, or what?
So, Rick, you guys send me a picture that Finland exists because I don't believe it exists. I'm gonna stand by the
Yeah,
YouTube videos I
it
watched.
it's there.
No,
It's
I
right
need
next to
proof.
Russia.
I need fucking proof.
Yeah,
Either I go there myself, or I
and
need a fucking T-shirt or a fucking picture.
and on that note, like I know you can't, you don't want to post a whole bunch of pictures of just those guys just hang out being themselves, but you can just send them directly to us, and we'll keep them private. Okay, so when
Yeah,
judo gets
like
hammered out there, you just
Just
oh, dude, that's probably like crossing the line. Like, oh, and also now I think about it too, they did say like during that party,
no
they did
cameras.
say like don't pull your stupid phones out, like for
Oh,
exactly that reason. They're like, please don't like take video or photos of people partying and relaxing here.
that makes sense.
Because it was a mix of like employees too who may or may
Oh
not
yeah.
have wanted to be there, and also just creators.
That's true. That's a good point.
I mean,
But I was like, like I probably had a little too much last year. I remember screwing around, making a lot of jokes. Like they had it's like an 8 or 9 story building, and so the only floor we were really allowed to see was the top floor because they had other games in development on lower floors that they didn't want public yet. So they told us like, hey, you're not allowed to, like only stay here. And they had someone like call in the elevator for us. And then I remember leaving that last night when I was pretty tipsy. One of the event planners was there, and I was like, it was like faking like I was gonna hit all the buttons in the elevator, and she like came in and like rode down with me to make sure I didn't do it.
So I'm gonna hit
I was
every
like,
button.
oh, I was just joking. I was not really gonna get off at floor 4 and explore around and see whatever is there.
it was just a goof.
But yeah,
Just a goof. Guys.
apparently I lost some trust. At least I got it
So
back.
I got look. So did you see there was a recent tweet that I saw the screenshot of. It showed a hammer on the floor, and it said, "What is this used for?" And then Time to Clash commented, "If she storms this stage," and we all know who she is, and that made me laugh so hard. I was just wondering if you saw that. It's like a legit hammer.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
she going again this year?
Yes. From what I've heard, yeah.
I don't know. Like someone else showed me a tweet of Lady B saying like that where she tweeted out that like tickets look good or something for the final. So, but I don't know. It wouldn't make sense to me if she went like last year. It didn't make sense to me, but I get it because it was still a controversy and she was wanting to go and maybe she had plans in Finland anyway, and she
No one
wanted
has
to make a
plans in Finland.
point that because she still wanted to make a point about it all. So I kind of get why she went last year, but as far as I know, she hasn't done anything Clash related in 14 months now, other than get involved in a few minor fights. So I don't know why she would go other than for negative attention now.
Well, it's
Yeah.
You may or may not.
If
mean it's
she's
likely.
there, will you go up and say hi to her?
I didn't last year.
Well, and this year's different. So if she's there this year, will you go up and say hi to her? And then
Probably
tell
not.
her, hey, you want to come on the podcast real quick? Just say a few words.
No.
Come
That'd just be
on.
I will. Like I can pimp your guys' podcast, so you get her on.
Yeah, that'll work too.
Yeah, let's
Do
go.
that.
I'll get her on there.
That's probably better for because it's all the stuff everyone would want to hear would be probably better suited for Clashuals.
Action.
This is what we want you to do when you get there. Be like, hey, listen, I'm in the creative program because I'm actually a producer or a podcast. Neither of my guys could be here, but here's their card. They're the Clashuals, and they're so big that I got invited. I'm not even on their show. I'm just their producer, but you might want to give them a call. It could help you out a lot, Lady B, honestly.
Yeah,
There we
I'll
go.
definitely do that.
Yeah, I'll
Like
send you
that.
some business cards. It'll be fine.
It's just I would
You better
love
overnight
that.
them.
Overnight them.
Actually, I'm just gonna I'm missing them straight to Supercell, so they'll be at the office when you get there. All right. Anything else for Worlds for this week? That's kind of. I know last year you talked about the meeting ahead of time and them kind of giving you the roadmap and some insight. Are you anticipating those meetings being similar? I know you can't tell us if you know of anything you're talking about, but you feel like that's probably the same stuff. You're gonna get some insight on what their plans are next year or
So
the end of this year.
So far the schedule of events looks like identical. I think one of the days there we're gonna have most of the day there at Wood City at the headquarters building. So I am expecting to hear a good chunk about the next update at least. So I mean we'll see.
And when you do, will you be like, hey, just throwing this out there? There's this really good idea out there for an in-game tournament style gameplay. This podcast I listen to, the Clashuals, have it all mapped out, so you guys might want to give it a listen. So just plug it in there. All right. All right, Adam. You got any other questions? Any other? So we're gonna find out for sure next week that Helsinki is real. Rick is going to send us.
Know that for sure.
He's going to send us photo confirmation of.
Well, photos can be. I need a picture with someone in it. I know you don't want to show your face, but you just DM me a picture of you next to something that proves Finland exists, because I don't think it exists.
I'm sure in the
Unless
airport
it's
sent
there's
pictures
something
out.
that says "Welcome to Finland" or something.
No, I don't want.
I sent pictures out of myself and like Adrian last year. I don't know where they went, but
Call me. I
they,
just
they
met you this
exist
year, bro.
somewhere.
We didn't even talk to you last year, so
Yeah, come on, Rick.
so do it this year, bro.
And send it to me directly. I'm gonna analyze it. I'm gonna send it out to an analyst. Make sure it's not adulterated or faked.
Yeah, make sure it's not adulterated. That'd be awful.
Yeah, that's the
Catfish
wrong
put his
word for it.
technical skills to use.
All right. Any other
Yeah.
questions, Adams? Any more brain busters for Rick?
No.
We're gonna do our top 5. We're gonna do a top 5.
Yeah, top 5. Let's go.
Even though we don't always do top 5s because some people think they're trendy. Some people always do them and it gets repetitive and lame. And then we do it just because I think really, I don't know. Sometimes there's something in the top 5 that I just want to say. I don't know how a good other way to bring it into a podcast. So I just say we're going to do top 5 at the end. Today we're doing the top 5 things, since it's Thanksgiving week, top 5 things that we're thankful for, and in parentheses, Clash related, or, something that because of Clash, you've got something, top 5 list. And again, as always, I feel like I need to clarify, Adams, when we go through this list, you're going to start with number 5. That's the thing that you are thankful for, but it's not necessarily the thing you're most thankful for. On your list, it's actually the thing you're least thankful for, and then we're going to work our way down to number 1. And since they always make me go first, I don't want to fucking go first this time. Adams, you go first this time.
All right, my top 5, since I think Big B joined the same clan, probably a little before me, but the people in the clan. We have a lot of great people in the clan. Well, yeah, in the clans, we got TJ always donating troops. We got Ghost Knight, Fatal. Like I can name off a bunch of people, but there's such a lot of people, a lot of great. Oh my god, if I could talk, a lot of great people in the clan. Always have a sense of humor, even for my dumb ass. So I'm gonna say number 5 is the people in the clan.
Yeah. You think you could clarify that by saying that the people around the clan, the community, that Clash community, right?
To a point.
Yeah. Rick, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is, I'm gonna say, I am thankful in Clash for all the artwork. I don't know, there's a lot of really cool, like the skins and sceneries I kind of ranted about a little before, but like even the default one's really awesome. Like I switched back to the standard default scenery the other day. Like I'm really liking it. Just checking out. They brought the waterfall back, which is always dope. There's lots of cool trees and nice little awesome details around. I don't know. Like the artwork on Clash has been on point for a long time. Like whether or not I want to actually buy the skins and sceneries and stuff is different, but I do appreciate all the hard work that the art team, they really crushed it on a lot of this, a lot of the skins and sceneries and stuff too.
Clear that you're so thankful for it that you show your support by completely ignoring them in game. So I'm with you on that.
I like them.
I'm thankful.
We talk about them on RTC.
I know. Yeah. Talk about how you don't buy any of them anymore. In fact, I think in the last one you said it was a waste of your money. Because
what I said was I haven't looked at any of those like legendary skins, and like when I look at them now, I would much rather have the $9 back in my account than have a skin that I'm never going to put on again.
Think about it. If you hadn't bought any skins, maybe you could get first class to Frankfurt.
Oh, dude, I did look and it was ridiculous.
How much? Just curious.
No, because like on my flight Denver to Germany, it's on a 787, the Boeing Dreamliner. So like the first class, like the ultimate first class there is like the full bed that lets you lay down, and you have your own little private bedroom cubicle. So there's thousands of dollars.
You don't think it's worth it?
Nah, for like I'll just sit up and be uncomfortable
if you had the money
for 10 hours. Oh yeah. Oh, you mean if I had the money, I would,
buy my own plane
stuff.
If I had the money, I'd buy my own plane and just go direct flight. Fuck it.
Well, you could just rent. You can rent private jets for like.
Yeah.
Well, renting a private jet makes no sense. Yeah, but yeah.
I'll say like if I had like the airline miles, I would spend them on the upgrade.
Interesting. It's a lot of money for first. Okay.
All right. My number 5 things I'm thankful for in Clash is 17 runes of Dark Elixir, which
Jesus.
for some reason, and I think I keep asking you, Rick, for some reason, one of my 15s keeps getting different deals in the shop than the other ones, even though they're completely maxed same level. And one of those just continually gets Dark Rune deals available. So yeah, I've got 17 of them purchased on one of my Town Hall 15. I can't. Supercell prohibits it.
I know. But I want some runes.
I'm trying to look at how many dark runes I have right now. Because I've been stashing for for a year now.
One.
I only have 14 dark runes. So you got me beat.
Jesus.
I think the other kind, I think I've got 12 or 13, but yeah, on Big B.70, I got 17 dark runes.
Okay.
Adams, what's your number 4?
Number 4 is learning with Ghost Knight.
Learning
attack. So me and him.
Oh, so he's helping you like reading and stuff?
Learning an attack.
Hooked on phonics. Work for me.
No, me and him were in a chat. Obviously, I'm always in C2J when I wake up. But we're learning twin hogs and super bowlers, and we were sitting there for hours, and Fiddle's like kind of coaching us, sending us bases, like saying, "Hey, do this," and me and him were pretty OP at catching on with an hour of just a little bit of coaching, and also Ghost Knight's far superior in scouting, helping last night VS was asking Ghost Knight for advice for like where to send the blimp, and he was so OP with it. Like Ghost Knight's far superior attacker and scout than me, so I'm gonna say learning attacks with Ghost Knight is my number 4 because he's OP.
All right, Rix, what's your number 4?
I am thankful for drags being back in the meta because drags are easy. The game needs a nice, spammable, viable 3-star hit at Talent 15.
Facts.
So I am thankful that Clash has recognized that drags needed some love and gave them a level this summer.
I mean, they could always do witches finally too. I mean, they gave them a level and it didn't help them at all. So witches would be.
There was like a good 2 weeks where witch spam was back in the meta at Town Hall 15. Brand new.
Yeah, those first 2 weeks, I brought them back. It was all witches and ice golems, and I in some random weird friendly war with an old clan I was in, I tripled a couple bases on Alpha MX Esports, which was an old team. I tripled a couple of their bases with witches, and then the next week, people started upgrading defenses, and they weren't viable anymore.
Damn.
My number 4 is actually Gardic Phone, even though it's got nothing to do with Clash. If I didn't play Clash, I would have never found Gardic Phone. Probably also wouldn't have as many headaches because I woke up this morning having not drank any alcohol last night at all, feeling like I had a slight hangover because, again, the sides of my head was hurting from laughing so hard during last night's Gardic Phone session. So,
that was so good.
Thank heaven for Gardic Phone. I wouldn't have got there without Clash. Thank you, Clash, for giving that to me. Number 4 is Gardic Phone for me.
That's a good one. I love Gardic Phone with the homies.
Adams, what's number 3?
All right, number 3 is getting coaching from Fatal on attacks. He's been helping me a lot with even just sending armies like, "Hey, Fatal, do you have army for this?" He'll send it to me, kind of coach me through it, and then coaching me and us in the comp wars, like, "Oh, do this or do that," helping us out. We won last night. We were doing like a friendly war, like top whoever won like the most out of 3 against Super Devils. We lost the first one, and then we won the next 2. And I got almost a triple with Super Hogs. I had a fucking multi Inferno with just a Diggy and the Poison Lizard, and they died off. I was so pissed. I got a 99. I was like, fuck. But either way, OP coaching from Fatal is my number 3.
Nice. So your number 3 and number 4 kind of go together.
Kinda, yeah.
Look at you learning. So proud of you.
At least it wasn't another number 3.
True. I'm not that drunk.
Has Fatal given you any coaching on like how attacking while less drunk increases your ability to follow his direction?
No.
Good coach, Fatal. Good boy. Attaboy. All right, Rick, what's your number 3?
I am thankful for all of the other mods on Reddit too. Everyone, it's a volunteer thing, and everyone kind of brings something a little different to the table. But I think the thing everyone has is that we care a little bit extra about the sub and doing trying to help out the community too. So it's thanks to all those guys who are big Clash dorks like me and dedicate a little bit of their spare time towards helping out the subreddit. It's I try and be thankful, and every time you guys do something, I try and point out how much it's appreciated and what's helped. But if I missed
Yeah.
it ever, then cool. I mean, I love all you guys. Even when I'm fighting and cussing out Spencer all the time, at least it's always in good faith and our disagreements. So
It's all going to come full circle when Spencer's your wingman in Helsinki, and you guys are out there handing out business cards and getting the whole Clash podcast thing really on the scene. Okay.
Facts.
yeah, man, it'll be interesting, like having met him, dude, because like we do argue a lot. Like we've had some fights, but like probably once we've met face to face, like and he becomes a real person, in my mind, and hopefully that works both ways. So hopefully we get a little more on the same page and are able to disagree a little better with our future. Don't get me wrong too. Like I don't, like Spencer, I love you, buddy. But like man, like we've had some arguments too. Like, but hopefully that clears up once we can put a face to the voice and the name.
True. It helps when you just see like a picture, like say like now, Rick, like if I go to Worlds next year and I meet you, like it's gonna make a whole different thing than just seeing your
Yeah.
logo.
Like you. Yeah,
Put a
like
face
you
to the
become a
name,
real
basically. Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
once you meet people in real life. Like it's why trolling online is really easy, and like you're anonymous. Like my name's not Rick. So it's always an adjustment to be called Rick in person, like with someone to your face.
Right.
So that's a little weird, but like I think once you put real faces and can shake hands with someone, they become real people to you, and it's a lot of that superficial stuff from knowing each other online kind of
Mhm.
melts away.
I'm gonna tell you, if I meet you in
Or
real life, I'm
maybe I'm
not
gonna hate
shaking
his
your hand.
stupid
I'm
fucking
giving you a
face,
fucking
and we're
hug.
just gonna fight for real.
Duke it out. Let's go.
All this
You did
talk
threaten to
about
tackle me.
treating people like real people once you meet them. I always treat people like they're real people all the time. What they don't know is that I'm just as big a jerk in person as I am online. So it probably, honestly, guys, it'd probably be the same for me. Actually, honestly, I'd probably be a little more loud and annoying in person, believe it or not. So,
Yeah.
spoiler alert,
I'd love to meet you in
guys.
person.
And I'm not a
That'd be
hugger,
fucking nice,
Adams. If
bro.
you come and hug me, I'm gonna drop your little ass.
Just gonna
Okay.
fucking just eat my ass.
You can do the bro hug, like bring it
We
in
can go,
like
bro. Hug. Yeah.
on the shoulder, but like if you try
Yeah.
to do bear hug me, it's not gonna.
I was just saying, Rick, if I met him in person, I'd hug him.
You'd
Give
fuck
him a
him.
big ol'
Is that
hug.
what you said?
Maybe if he's into it.
Oh boy. All right.
Keep our socks on.
My number 3 things I'm thankful for in Clash is my noob account. I've thought about for years wanting to create an account where I only upgraded offense and did not give a single shit about defense other than to make the walls look nice. And
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I'm fucking living out my dream. And I'm going to go to Town Hall 12 here in like a week or two with it. And the lab and the heroes are completely maxed, and I ain't give a shit about any of the defense. Don't care about it. Don't want to care about it. It's strictly for war waiting. That's the only reason I'm doing it. And I'm a couple months. I'm gonna actually have a really cool account that can be really strong in war, and I didn't give a shit about defense because defense fucking sucks. So
So that's the same one that the Void Boy
yes,
event that we did.
yes.
I mean,
Thanks a
I didn't even
lot,
touch that
Void
account
Boy. Such
for not giving any insight on your contest.
Well, he told us ahead of time what he was going to do, and then when it came time to do it, then he told me like he had some work thing or something come up, and didn't realize that we'd be able to get from Town Hall 1 to Town Hall 10 or whatever it was, like over the weekend. by just rushing everything. But we did.
I remember asking that, and he's like, I'll establish the rules later." I was like, and then he, while we were doing it, he's like, "What's your plan for this?" I was like, "I was gonna
I
rush,
don't
but
know. I'm
you
gonna
just
be
saved
done in
me."
30 minutes. So do I need a plan now?
Well, I was still stuck at 5, so
Well, some of us took it more serious than others. Obviously, Trample and Magnus actually planned. I just gave effort, and then you and Steve were there to just
just be there.
why were you guys there?
And I got invited, and I fucked up.
All right, Adams, what's your number 2?
Number 2, thanks to Fatal giving me this belt back, which I will now that I have a job. I'm gonna get a belt. I'll remove this, put the belt right above my head. I am now still the 2-star champ. Thanks to Fatal giving me the reclaim. I did fail once in Comp 4, got a 1-star, but when I'm not totally plastered and rage after failing my blimp,
Does
which is
every
kinda on Fatal's
story
fault.
about you being the 2-star champ have to also include a story of you getting 1-star somewhere?
Bro, I don't know if you remember, 'cause I wasn't really streaming, but, there's a few Comp 4s last week, Friday and Saturday, I kinda remember. Maybe even Thursday, I was drinking, so much vodka, and I was gone, and it was during a Comp 4, I don't even really remember. I just remember, sending the blimp in and then failing and then just ending the attack. And that's why Ghost Knight's like, "Don't end your attack if you do it." It's a on troll that Ghost Knight keeps telling me. So, I still claiming the 2-star champ, thanks to Fatal giving me back the claim. Don't care what anyone says, I'm the 2-star champ regardless.
All right, Rick, what's your number 2?
I am thankful for the Supercell Creator Program.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, because I get to go see the worlds, which is cool. But also just it's real nice for the Reddit community and for our listeners and stuff. So
Mhm.
they started back up the giveaway kind of program too. So I'm going to be able to start doing giveaways more often. A lot of in-game stuff, the things that have been coming through like the voucher codes, like the little cozy clam decoration.
Mhm.
But around Christmas too, I'm gonna try and give away a bunch of the logs, a couple decorations from a couple years ago that people might have missed.
Ooh.
And then
Hell
there's
yeah.
also like t-shirts, and it's gonna be rotating a bunch of merch too. So it's a really cool program, and I'm glad that they let us non-YouTubers actually be a part of it.
You know
So
what else is
Hell yeah.
cool?
that's my number
They
2.
just did.
You know what else is cool about it? 30 Inferno towers on one map. So, and then next year, I want you to be thankful for that part of it too. Next year, okay?
Next year.
Yeah, honestly, I had already forgot that I did say I would do that with you.
It's
for you.
exactly why I brought it back up. Okay.
Write it down, Rick.
Here, I
Put it,
will.
post it on your
Here,
computer.
as I pull it off, I'm not allowed to show the dev build or stream it,
Yeah,
but here, we'll hop on a voice call and I will narrate it as it happens.
All
narrate
right.
it.
Now one ice column is going in and it's dead, and now another is going and it's dead, and now another is going in and it's hitting on one of the buildings because they're all frozen now, and now they're unfrozen and it's dead. And now I'm
The
putting
problem,
another.
not to backtrack us too much. Ninja and Spencer were telling me there's a way to add extra buildings, but I don't know if there's a way to add extra troop capacity beyond the camp space. So it might be a complete waste of cool all 300 housing space if ice golems got through 0 infernos.
Well, I at least appreciate that smart people like Spencer and Ninja have at least thought far enough ahead to explore if it's possible. That's all I'd be doing if I had access to the dev bills. What crazy shit can we do in here? That's it.
I mean, I've done a lot of experimenting too. I know with the whole, it's changed now, but it used to be if you were gone for 90 days, you get a little bit of free upgrades.
Oh.
And if right now that kicks in at 35 days, I think is what they changed it to in the last update. But I know I was curious how effective that would be, yeah, how many years away you would have to be to get max hero. So I know I gave myself Town Hall 11 max heroes, and I
Mhm.
upgraded everything to 15, and then I just like had it, like, okay, cool, set away time 1 year, and then I did it, and I just kept repeating that to be away for a year because it caps out at a year. And to get from Town Hall 11 to Town Hall 15 Max Heroes, like, would take 22 years of that. So
Damn.
there is like weird, random, dumb stuff you can do in the dev build.
Okay.
I like that. I encourage more of this. That's the kind of stuff I'm actually here for.
All right, I will return to my curious roots and start experimenting and
There you go.
doing more science in the dev build for you.
Good.
Hell yeah.
Proud of you. My number 2 is not being a fucking leader. That's what I'm thankful for. I couldn't imagine a worse way to play this game than to try to like coordinate like who's supposed to hit who on the war map, right? Like, or like going back to recruiting, or like managing the Discord server and deciding like whose behavior was appropriate or something like that. Like, I couldn't imagine any more futile an exercise of trying to be a leader of a clan in Clash of Clans. Let that be someone else's job. I'm thankful that it ain't me. No matter what happens, I ain't the one in charge. Someone else decide who gets to make the petty decisions. I'm thankful for not being a fucking leader.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I don't like being a
Cheers.
leader either. That's why when I was appointed leader for After Dark, I didn't want it.
You
It
know,
was appointed.
someone tried to be like, oh, Adams and Big B, you guys can run it. And I'm like, have you listened to a fucking word I've ever said about? Oh, obviously you haven't. I mean, you actually said that in one of your own live recordings that you don't listen, and you keep proving it over and over again that you don't. So, number ones,
Yep.
Adams.
Oh,
Number 1.
my number 1 is the great podcast content we get from Clash of Clans. Like, from the drama to even like CWL to just failing attacks. We have so much great content just from the clan we're in. Not even just based on just attacking, just from the clan we're in, or even the Discord everyone used to be in. But yeah, it's great. I love it. Great podcast content, and keep it going.
I love how you said that everyone's
It's
in,
good.
and then you realize who our guest is this week. You're like,
Right?
everyone used
Most
to be in.
Yeah.
It was fun while it lasts.
Yeah, rip. No, I listen to all of them that are going now. I don't know, like all the different podcasts all have something cool and unique about them that make them worth your time. I know, like, dude, I like real big on trying to cross promote people. So I know, like, I try and drop your guys' name or P&T when they have cool stuff on. So I appreciate y'all sending the love back.
Hell yeah.
And cross recommending everyone, even though I assume like we're listened to by all the same group of people anyway.
Yeah, it's the same 25 people
but,
just downloading
yeah,
everyone's
right.
stuff.
But you never know.
But I try to catch yours live as much as possible.
Yeah, I saw you the other day, man.
Yeah, I had a comp wars, I had to leave early, but it was good. Good episode of what I heard.
I was at work, but I listened to it yesterday because I want to make sure that I didn't like double up on anything that you just talked about over there. And we only did that a little bit. So,
By the way, I was the first one in the live stream of their recording. Just saying. Just want to rub that in everyone else's face.
Rick,
Anyway.
what's your number 1? What's the thing that you're most thankful for in Clash of Clans besides getting to potentially meet Lady B again this week?
So yeah, I guess I'll get a little cheesy, and slightly off topic, but I do have a very wonderful wife who was kind enough to not stand in the way of me taking a cool trip. Missing Thanksgiving, she changed her work schedule around. She's taking care of the kid all week. We changed our Thanksgiving plans. She tolerates me being on my tablet and my phone way too damn much for any grown man. So I know I have a really amazing wife who I love a lot. So I'm just thankful for her being cool and understanding of my hobbies, I guess.
Oh yeah.
This is what I'm thankful for. That's sort of tangential to Clash, because all the time I waste doing stuff that's not family stuff is almost always Clash related, podcast or Reddit or just playing.
Gotcha.
That's awesome. I had to help decorate the house for Christmas today, just so that I could have the time to record today's episode. So yeah, I guess I'm thankful for something similar to that. This is not my number one, by the way. But I think I can. There's a good balance. One thing that's worked really well for me, I my wife, when she was younger, she was really into playing Sims, and so
My wife too.
I've been planning this for years, Rick. Okay, so a couple years ago, I got her a computer to try to get it, and it ended up not being good enough to do it. So last year, I got her another computer that would definitely be fast enough to do it. And slowly but surely, she's gotten Sims, and then I've convinced her, because I spend money on the games I play, that it's okay for her to do it. So she's bought some of those expansion packs, and now she starts playing it. So when she's playing, like, I can come in here and be really nerdy and not feel like I'm just neglecting her at all, and it's worked out really well for us.
Hell yeah.
Plus, her office is on the other side of the house, so she didn't have to hear all the dumb shit I'm saying.
I like you like looking over.
She didn't have to see all the penises we're drawing on Gartic phone.
Oh, she'd probably disown you.
All right.
Just kidding.
No,
Just come joke.
my number one is for having a pod that in my opinion doesn't suck dick. So that's the thing that I am most proud about. This time last year, I was talking about getting this PC and streaming and doing all that, and I wanted to stream, but if I'm being honest, like podcasting was really something I was more into. Just streaming just seemed cool, right? It seemed like something to do.
Yeah.
But having a podcast and being able to podcast was always something that I thought that I would like to do. Like, I always thought I missed my calling. I really would have wanted to go like into radio somehow, especially since I like listening to talk radio so much. And doing this is just like it lets me feel like I didn't waste all my potential all the time. I actually have a podcast, and then the fact that there's actually people that like download it and listen to it is just it's crazy to me to think that actually still happens, that people actually find it entertaining. But even if no one did, doing it and recording it and getting to say some of the shit we say, like, I wouldn't give it up for anything in the world. I enjoy doing it so much. And it's even had me thinking, like, I've been trying to get a buddy of mine to start doing another podcast, like just a variety style podcast, and we just haven't got around to doing it yet. But I really like podcasting. It's a lot of fun, and I wouldn't have ever stepped into it if I hadn't been playing Clash and hadn't been part of a community where that was a big thing. So yeah, I would say number one thing I'm thankful for having a hobby like this is having a podcast that, oh, by the way, in my opinion, doesn't completely suck. So,
yeah. Well, and if it wasn't for Clash, we would never met. So,
well, we still have technically never met in person.
Oh, I meant, yeah,
right?
you know what I meant.
Because you were promising to give me a hug, and I know from other conversations that that's code for something else. So,
okay. Anyway,
so we may never meet after you went there. Like, I'm gonna show up wearing like a full like protective layer just in case.
Just a big bubble.
Like, Adam said he was gonna hug all over me.
All right. You guys got any closing statements? Because we've been recording almost for 3 hours.
Have fun in Helsinki, Rick.
Yeah, Rick.
Send us some pictures. You don't have to send us a picture of you, but if you send some other pictures, that'd be great.
Yeah. No, it's funny you mentioned that. There will not be pictures from me at all. Not out of any sense of privacy, but my awesome iPhone 8 that has been often made fun of, along with other people's iPhone 8s. The camera stopped working.
Well,
so
if anyone else takes pictures.
Yeah, I know. So I'm just gonna have to sneak into the live stream. So I'll text you guys when to switch over to the Brazilian stream, and then I'll go and a wave in the background, because it's if it's set up the same way, it'll be hard to sneak in behind Carbon and Itsu and the main streamers. But dude, if I tell you guys to go watch in Japanese or Italian or one of the other small languages, dude, I can probably I can definitely photobomb the background of those streams.
In fact, there's a chance that on some of those mornings, probably especially the last morning, maybe on the other mornings, that we might have been in conversations already about guys getting together and watching it live in one of these voice chat channels. Mm-hmm. So we can watch it all together. And if that's the case and you let us know wherever we're watching it from, we'll switch to that one so that we can all see you photobomb or teabag
jumping up, waving
someone.
your arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta have to get one of those like little dragon plushies and just start humping it in the background. Just something subtle, couple pumps. That's all you need.
Just it. Anyway, it was awesome. Thanks, Rick, for taking the time out and being on the pod. I love your pod too, and I will make sure I put your link to your Discord in the show notes whenever this is posted.
Rick has a Discord?
Oh, he has the Reddit.
I mean, we just
Discord.
have like the main. It's not the podcast one, but the subreddit has the giant, huge, 200,000 people, whatever, Discord.
But that's where they do their pod anyway. All right, guys. Thank you for watching the podcast. We're gonna end the live stream, and thank you for watching. Yes. Stop recording. Yes. All right. Oh no! Don't shut down, and then we can stop Craigbot. Man, that was a great episode, guys.
It was 3
Yeah, it's
hours.
fun.
That's a new record.